What you think about when you're born into a fire? Let them burn it out. Sell them to the richest buyer. They wanna let the world decay. They tell us lies and fade away, fade away. We feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. Listen up now, because we're never dropping out.
What's up, Internet? I'm Aries Van Dam. How are y'all doing today? I wanted to do some Dan Bongino stuff today because I know he's crashing out, but I can't because it's on Rumble, and last time I did Rumble, I got a strike. So I'm gonna wait till somebody puts it up on YouTube so I can react to their clips. But I do want to do some Dan Bongino crash out, maybe later this week. Also wanted to address the whole fake niceness thing. People have told me that I need to be nicer if I want people to subscribe. And that's really just not my nature. I'm kind of a dick. So I want you to help me show that you don't have to pretend to be nice to get people to follow you as long as you make sense, right? And I do make sense, even though I'm kind of a dick. I get it. But I'm not gonna beg y'all after I get 1,000. Once I get 1,000, no more begging. I hate it, and I'll not do it. And I won't be bugging y'all with a bunch of ads either. If I sell you something, I probably made it. I'm not gonna be selling you shit I don't use. I think that's despicable, and I don't trust people who do sell me shit they don't use. So I'm not gonna do that either. So wanted to get that out the way. I made a video this weekend too on the woke right because someone called me that, and I didn't get a lot of views, but I think y'all should check it out. I think it'll make a lot of sense to people who just don't think you have to support Israel to be the right. I don't know how the right gets entwined with being MAGA, and so I just addressed some of that there. Like, I think the wokeness comes from Israel. Like, don't they own Hollywood? You tell me how I have to support the people that shoved all that shit down our throat for the last decade, or else I'm woke now. That just didn't make any sense. Anyway, the first two videos today that we're going to be looking at, the image quality is a little different. They have to clip it and stuff and move it around because it was done on TikTok, and TikTok is not a real place. So they had to kind of finagle it. So I had to find a clipper that could do all that because I'm not a nerd. So the first two will be like that, but the third video that we're doing today will be on Pierce Morgan. So it'll be a lot better quality. So bear with the first two. Yeah, so let's get into it. This is the first one, and what we're looking at today is Parker is just the name he goes by. He's a TikTok debater that somehow gets on like big platforms, like he was on Jubilee. He was on. He goes to Charlie Kirk stuff. He's always tangling with Charlie Kirk and getting destroyed. And he was on Pierce Morgan with Andrew. That's the one we're going to see. So it's just crazy. This dude is Parker, just a TikTok guy, and he goes on Pierce Morgan, but it ends exactly how you think it would end. So let's get into it. Let me pull this up. There we go.
Yeah, so let's dive into this. Let's dive into the fact that you will not debate me 1v1. This is what we were discussing.
Answer the question.
Yeah, after you answer, yeah, Parker, calm down, Parker. You're spurging, Parker. You said you would do. Parker, I will answer. Parker, you're still spurging. You're spurging. You're spurging, Parker.
By the way, people spamming Andrew Wilson. He's not even in the guest box, bro.
Yes, I literally am.
He's some insane, insufferable individual.
Sounds about right. Sydney, thanks for the 2. Jordan, thanks for the 5.
Literally in the back box right this second.
Chances are, if I go on YouTube and I search up the crew, I'm not even gonna promo it. If I search up the name of his channel, that I will find him on live watching our stream.
Yeah.
You have to bear with us a little bit. Their sound is a little lower than Andrew's, so it's hard for me to. I'm trying to get it to where you can hear both and it's not blaring. So let me know
literally
if it's too
in the
much.
box.
That's embarrassing. That's actually embarrassing.
It makes me a lot more money than it
Maybe
makes you
odds are
boys.
pretty
That's
high.
embarrassing. You want me to check?
Check.
Yeah.
Come
in the
on,
meantime,
Parker.
James, thank you so much for the $100 donation.
James.
I
That's his
really
allowance.
appreciate you for the love. Let's get 1,000 big booms in the chat.
Also, I need to point out the guy beside of him, that's Dean Withers. He goes on a lot of the big things too. He's a big TikTok debater that mutes everybody before they can say anything. And this theatrics that they're doing where they dance, jump around and sway their arm, that's all TikTok theatrics. That actually works on TikTok somehow because they'll just work that in combination with a mute button. And it's not even really a debate. It's laughable to call it a debate.
Dude, I can't, dude. Wow, that's so fucking embarrassing, dude. That's so embarrassing.
Oh my god, dude.
Oh, wait, don't tell him.
What's up, boys? Andrew Wilson in this video. He goes on his TikTok invasion and finds Parker, Dean, and Harry Sisson all in the same TikTok live, and Andrew Wilson goes after Parker and confronts Parker and Dean for cheating during debating. Andrew Wilson supposedly has evidence that Parker is feeding Dean answers while they debate on TikTok, and Andrew Wilson challenges Parker and Dean to a debate in live and in person in the flesh, so there's no cheating. Andrew Wilson is obviously the best debater there is right now, so Parker and Dean have a long way to go to come.
I tried to find one without commentary added, and I couldn't find the original on Andrew's channel. I looked for that for about an hour and decided I had to go live. So I'm using this one. He does a minimal interruptions. He's not like me. He does minimal.
To catch up to Andrew Wilson's level, but let's watch the rest of this video. It's literally hilarious. Parker is such a child. He has to grow up, but let's watch this video. Andrew Wilson making fun of Parker and Dean.
Oh, I found
Is
it.
he is Andrew in the queue?
I'm in the
I
queue.
don't see him.
I'm
would add him
there.
if he's there.
I'm there.
Wait, it's live on YouTube right now?
Yeah, I would love to get.
No. Number one Republican, did you vote Trump?
Absolutely.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Are you serious? He's obviously the better candidate
Elvis has entered the building.
for various reasons. He's president before, you know.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. Wait, so then was Obama
can't
a
hear
better
these
candidate
guys.
in 2016 than Donald Trump because Obama was a candidate prior?
No.
Okay, like, dude, I think. Listen, man, I think that Andrew over here is like one of the most insufferable quote unquote debaters I've ever spoken to. But like, I would rather hear from Andrew than hear this. I'm not gonna lie.
Are you sure? I thought I was super insufferable because you don't know what an entailment is, Dean.
Just shut up. April, thanks for the 3.
But-
Yara, thanks for the
I'll
750.
I can actually be
Appreciate
very clear the reason why I find you insufferable.
Mhm.
And I mean, I think any rational viewer would, understand that very clearly.
I want to hear.
During the last conversation that we had,
Mhm.
I asked you for one reason why, what were you debating? Promiscuity was morally wrong,
Mhm.
and you never.
You mean the
answered
thing that
question.
wasn't my prompt, but was Brian's? But the thing is I was actually happy to get into it.
About the
I was actually happy to get into it, but anytime you do a debate, it's very important that you clarify language. I would know this because I'm actually good at it, and you're not. But I didn't come on here for this.
Language is important.
Yeah, no, well, not only that, semantics are important, but the thing is, I came on here actually to tell you guys, like, I don't support a TikTok ban, just so you know. And since I have, I'm consistently in the top 5 most super chatted channels in the United States, top 20 in the world, I actually had some advice for you for YouTube. And I wonder if you would hear me out.
Okay. Yeah, we will hear you out.
Yeah, so the first thing is that you actually can't debate with a mute button. You actually will have to do real debates.
I apologize for the sound. I'm trying to raise it whenever the TikTok people are talking because it's so low, and raise it whenever Andrew talks. It's very difficult though, so I apologize for the sound quality.
And the thing is you'll actually have to do them live. You'll actually have to do them live with people where you don't have where you,
It's not live right now?
stop where you don't have people who are cheating and feeding you answers. You'll actually have to do those, or you'll yeah. You're laughing, but I can guarantee you this. But here's the thing, guys.
Pay close attention to that is TikTok theatrics right there. There's no other reason to be cackling like that. I don't even understand what they're laughing at.
Hey, shut up, Andrew.
Oh, you're so mad.
I'm not right now. I'm in the middle.
Good comeback. Shut up.
Muted me. Mute.
Free garage.
Mhm.
What do you think that this?
You're
bowl
spurging,
with
bro.
chicken
You're
from
spurging, bro.
yesterday, Or one moment.
Why
or
are you
the
spurging?
Concrete on the ground, or the 10-year-old
Mhm.
space heater is feeding me answers to your questions.
No.
Andrew. Be so.
No, but Parker definitely was feeding you answers during your debate with Fuentes, and I have the proof via video.
The video that you're talking
what are you
about is
mad
Parker
about?
getting. The video that you're talking about
This
is
is
Parker
insane.
getting. The video that you're talking about is Parker getting excited because his friend was absolutely.
No,
destroyed.
no, he
When
actually
James
sent you
X
the question. He
clarified-
sent you the answers, and he did it live and laughed about it, and I have the video. I watched it
I
live.
know the clip that you're
Oh
talking
my
about.
god, bro.
Yeah, go, my God, you cheated. You
Cancel this
cheated.
guy.
You cheated.
Cancel him.
You cheated.
Oh my god.
And here's the thing that's funny is like over on
Oh
YouTube,
my God.
you guys will
The point that
never,
was factually
you will
correct.
never ever do as well as me because of this fact that you can't do real debates. You can't do
We
it
ironically have more live
talking about?
viewers than you, right?
because there's 7 of
TikTok.
you and you're on TikTok, bro.
What? So?
Yeah, that's why.
I have 9,800 subscribers on TikTok and no one knows me. So what? There's just more people on TikTok.
Over on YouTube, it's
Women.
it's a whole different venue. It's much harder.
second.
Wait, how many
Wait,
viewers do you get
Andrew,
on TikTok?
Wait. I just want to clarify
Mhm.
this. I outperform you on TikTok. I outperform you on Twitter. I outperform you on Instagram. I outperform.
But you're
you
never going to
everywhere
outperform me on
But
YouTube.
here's the thing.
You're never going to, bro.
And that's where money comes in because TikTok don't pay shit. Rumble hasn't paid me shit.
Ever.
I have a video uploaded to my YouTube account,
Mhm.
and I still have
Other than a short.
quarter as a amount of the subs that you do, and I
Yeah.
haven't.
Why do you
uploaded
keep
a
muting me?
single
I don't
goddamn
understand.
video.
These little dweebs, Parker and Dean. I don't know who's doing the muting. It's probably Parker. I don't know why he has to mute Andrew Wilson. They're not even debating.
We know
They're
why.
just talking, having a conversation. And in about 5 minutes, Parker absolutely loses his mind and melts down as Andrew Wilson confronts him for, helping Dean cheat. And I believe it. It's a really good way to cheat. You could easily feed your friend ideas. I'm a terrible debater, and I was even thinking, if I'm debating someone, I could have my friend just text me like, "Yo, say this, and this will work here, and this and that." But yeah, let's get back to this video of Andrew Wilson embarrassing them.
Hey, by the way,
Why do you
everyone
keep
says
muting
that
me?
Dean won't ever do. Shut up, Andrew. This guy says that Dean.
You
won't
shut
ever
up,
do
idiot.
YouTube, so you should go to Dean.
Sison, he can't beat me on YouTube.
Harry Sisson telling Andrew Wilson to shut up. Andrew Wilson's like, "Shut up, you friggin' idiot."
Yes, that's Harry Sisson. He's actually blown up a little bit. I'm sure y'all know Harry Sisson. He's been on Pierce Morgan quite a bit. He's a regular.
But guys, let me know in the comments, is Andrew Wilson just trolling, or is he saying Harry Sisson's name right? He's saying Sesson. He's saying Harry Sesson. I don't know if it's Sesson because, when Andrew Wilson is on Piers Morgan.
You guys can beat me here.
Who maybe need to be quiet more often because your voice is insufferable.
Sison, you're known far and wide as a Sison. You're known. You're known.
We're speaking from you.
Andrew, is it bad to be? Can you please explain to us how it's wrong to be?
I didn't say anything about the. I didn't say
Answer
anything.
the question. Why is it wrong
Well,
to
you
be
just
that?
muted me. How can I answer the question if you mute me? So
you're not muted.
yeah,
right now.
because I had to unmute myself after you muted me. See, that's the thing. It's like what you guys do. What
The beauty of this is you can see that he has to unmute himself before he can talk. It's obvious that he was muted.
you guys do. What you guys. This is what you guys do.
Oh my God,
You
I don't
mute.
like the crying.
So
Stop
four
crying.
versus
I don't
one. It's
cry.
4 versus
Stop
1. 4 versus 4v1. 4v1. 4v1.
Everyone will mute.
Yeah.
5 if you count the mute button.
Yeah. Okay. Whenever you guys mute, go ahead and mute, and then I'll answer it.
Stop crying.
You said everyone will mute. Go ahead and mute, and I'll answer it. When are you guys going to mute? I can literally hear all of you right this second. Literally, I can hear all of you. I just love watching those soy faces. It's really funny. I just like watching the soy faces. It's really funny. You'll never beat me on YouTube, guys. Ever. When is she going to leave me? When is she going to leave me? Is she going to leave me today?
Andrew,
My wife is leaving me? I didn't know
Paul
that.
gave you the ability to answer
That was really funny. That's so
Andrew,
funny.
Andrew, you chose not to answer that question because you're not an
Uh-huh.
intellectual. You're a literal troll.
Yeah. Are you ever going to...
You're like, you can't
Are you
answer
ever
the
going to do a
question.
1v1?
Ask you basic
Otherwise,
Are you ever going to do a
questions. You ask
1v1?
basic questions,
Yeah, where you
and
have the mute
like, act
button?
like-
Where do you have the mute button? Sir,
Andrew,
why don't you do a
The reason why
1v1?
no one takes Andrew. The reason why
That's
no
the
one
only
takes you
reason why you guys
seriously.
are
Everyone takes me seriously.
Yeah, I'm trying to explain right now. Can you stop
Yeah.
cutting me off? I'm trying to explain.
Why
He just went on Joe Rogan. He thinks nobody takes Andrew seriously. They're on TikTok.
do you keep muting me,
That guy
bro?
just left. That was the other guy.
Do you keep muting me?
You won't shut the
Yeah. 5 versus 1 to mute me? That's what you have to do.
No, I don't need
There's
to
actually
do that.
4 here,
Wait,
by the way.
Mhm.
wait,
Wait,
you
everyone,
decided to
everyone,
come
yeah,
up into our
I want
stream.
20 seconds. I
Before,
want 20
let me make this
seconds.
one point. Let me make this one point.
Okay.
Right, you decided to come up on our stream where we already had everyone.
You've
up.
come on my stream
You didn't
too.
want to come up with other
You
people.
came on my stream
Why would
too.
you do that?
You came on my stream too.
Multiple times. I'll do it 2v1. You and
Yeah, win,
Gerald, bro.
win.
From whatever.
Win.
And I gave you a time.
Okay.
I gave you a day and you
All
didn't
I
do that.
asked,
You
but
waited
Parker,
750
Parker,
deposit.
yeah, and then I told you, hang on. Let me respond to Parker. It'll be very quick. It'll be very quick.
Here's what I don't understand, and I just
Very-
think everybody.
You muted me again.
Set
Muted me
way-
again.
I'm muting you because this needs to be
Muted again.
It's not even about the
What
debate.
Such a coward.
All
Coward.
four of us- all
Coward.
four of us muted our mics.
And you're a coward.
They're ready to have a conversation with you.
When?
He asks you for a reason why it's
Mhm.
wrong to be GAY,
hmm
and then you respond.
Why do I need to be here to debate four
So
people
we
at
are going
once?
to try
Andrew,
it
no one
again.
can hear you right now because you're muted.
They can all hear me, dummy. I'm not muted.
No, they can't. I promise.
Well,
you.
How
You just
how
heard
did you
him.
hear me,
You just
stupid?
heard
How did you hear me, stupid?
Andrew Wilson, oh my God, bro, this is hilarious. I hope he does this more often. Parker's like, you're muted, no one can hear you. And Andrew Wilson's like, yeah, they can hear me, Parker. And Parker answers him, and he's like, how the hell did you just answer me if you can't hear me? Holy crap, Andrew Wilson, the GOAT.
You're not the viewers.
Listen, because there's
Mhm.
a glitch on TikTok where the person who you were on the call
Mhm.
with can hear you, but the people in the chat cannot.
You mean the 4.3 thousand in my chat right now? They can hear me fine.
No,
The 9.6 thousand people.
Yeah,
can hear
because
you.
there's 4 of you and you're on
We're at
TikTok.
4.3. Where's the
You will
subscribers?
never get this on YouTube, bro. Ever,
Quiet.
bro.
Cool.
Ever.
Cool.
And I will laugh hysterically as you try. And you lose you're losing.
Wait.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
got 3,000 live concurrent viewers on YouTube without advertising it with 10K subs.
Do it
What are you
again.
talking
Do it
about?
again.
I did it 4 times.
Do it tonight. Do it right now. Do it right now. Do it right now.
Andrew.
I have 9,000 subscribers on TikTok, and I don't even post my content. I just go in there and talk about some stuff every once in a while. That's it. It's so easy on TikTok. That's why they don't pay you shit, because it's so fucking easy. YouTube is a different animal. Rumble is a different animal. They're much more difficult because it's adults. It's not a bunch of women and children trying to debate. These guys they probably haven't bought their first razor yet, and they're trying to tell an adult, Andrew, one of the greatest debaters on the planet, that people don't take him seriously.
Well, unmute and mute so that people can hear you, because people can't hear you on my stream. Or I will kick you from the stream because you're too much of a child to unmute yourself and mute yourself.
Well, how many people should I talk to at the same time?
Good boy, Andrew. Good.
Oh, you got me, Parker.
Now answer the question.
Uh-huh. Yeah, so let's dive into this. Let's dive into the fact that you will not debate me 1v1. This is what we were discussing.
Answer the question.
After you answer, yeah, Parker, calm down, Parker, You're spurging, Parker. You said you would. Well, Parker, I will answer. Parker, you're still spurging. You're spurging, Parker.
Why is it wrong?
You're still spurging. Okay, calm down. I will answer every question, but before this, you brought up me and Brian. I wanted to address this. So let's address it. The reason, Parker, calm down.
In Parker's world, laughing and waving your hands around and making faces, that's all counted as like your rhetoric, I guess. I don't know.
The reason that I asked,
TikTok's
okay,
weird.
calm down, Parker. We're going to do one thing at a time. The reason that I you, the reason you're still, bro, you're still spurging. You're still spurging. Calm down.
Good.
So nobody's allowed to speak except you?
Answer the question.
Yeah, I'll answer the question, but why can't we discuss the thing that you just brought up? So you're not going to answer to that. What I want to know is this, Parker. It's very simple. I just want to know why it is that when we, because Parker, you asked me one before. Parker, Parker. Why are you screaming, Parker?
I'm gonna get taken down
Because he's on TikTok.
You're still screaming at the top of your lungs. Just calm down.
Because you won't answer the
I
question.
will answer it, bro. Do you know that we can do discourse the right way? If you just calm down, we'll get through everything, including me answering your question. Just chill out. All I want to know is this. It is true that the 750 was on the table, but Parker, the reason for that was I just wanted to make.
Why is he not answering the question?
Parker, why do you keep cutting me off? Just give me 10.
Because I asked you a specific question.
And I'm going to answer it.
Wrong.
Yeah, but why do I need to answer your question? You won't answer any of mine.
What are you talking about? You're just
Yeah, I'm asking. Why do you keep muting me? You keep muting me.
Because you won't answer the question.
Mute. Yeah, because
The reason why I
part.
keep muting you, Andrew, is because you.
Yeah, and you won't answer mine. You won't answer mine. You won't answer mine. You won't.
All right, I'm going to jump to some more the more relevant ones. This one does this for a little while, and Parker Spurg's out, and they kick him off. That's the way they always go. But let's get to the second video. I think that one was that one's a panel verse video, so it'll be a lot less interruptions. I don't think they even interrupt. There we go.
I'm only going to be here for like I think 12 more minutes because I'm going to a.
Well, that's really strange. I thought you wanted to do a debate, Parker.
Well, I do, but this is the.
Well, then why is it that? Let me. Can I ask you a question first, real quick? Why is it that you refuse to fly out to California and do a debate with me, even if I pay for it?
I live in California. I will do a debate.
Great.
With you
Then
anytime.
why won't you do it? Can we do it next week?
I want to debate Brian, and Brian.
Yeah,
won't
that's
debate with
nice.
me.
I'm not talking about Brian. I'm talking about me.
Can I debate 1v2? 1v2?
Yeah. Can you just debate me?
Can I do a 1v2?
Yeah. Why don't you debate him after me?
Why can't I do a 1v2?
Why? Because I want to do a 1v1, Parker.
Why can't I do a 1v2? All 1v2.
You can't. You can. But why do you need to? Can you explain
I
why?
want to talk to Brian as well.
Yeah, you can talk to Brian after we're done debating.
Brian's not going to debate me though.
Why do you say that?
Because he's scared.
Well, okay, so how about this? How about we'll just do it right now, Parker? Why don't you tell me what your criticisms are of the what?
The truth is, he's not big enough to debate Brian Atlas. Brian's got one of the biggest podcasts in the country. He's not going to debate some guy named Parker from TikTok. Andrew wants to do this just because Parker's such a big mouth. He wants to shove it down his throat. But Parker's not going to debate Andrew one-on-one where there's no mute button, because we're going to see what happens when he gets stuck doing that on Pierce Morgan in the next video.
Whatever podcast.
Yeah, so like the day
just
of,
do one at a time though. Don't shotgun them.
The day of that we were going to show up on the Whatever podcast, both Dean and I, to debate Brian, you, and other people that you had on the Whatever podcast, you canceled day of and never rescheduled. So you're willing to debate all my different friends who are women, right, who might be less knowing about different topics, right, or in OnlyFans or whatnot, but you're not willing to debate Dean or I on that type of platform for some reason. Because
yes,
he's inviting him too.
Okay, Parker.
He just invited him to come for that debate, and Parker won't go unless he gets to debate somebody who's not as good a debater.
Here's the thing. Here's what I'll do. I'll compromise with you. How's that for fair? Now, I tried to do this with Dean before, by the way. Did you see the live of that, Parker?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, there was a live where Dean called me out, and I had him come on my stream, and he agreed to do a fly-out debate, and then he refused. So here's my compromise to you. Will you debate with me and Brian, you and Dean, at the same time on your criticisms of the Whatever podcast?
Yeah, if we could also do other topics, I'd love to.
Yeah, what are the other topics that you want to do?
I'd love to talk about like Trump. That'd be great to talk about.
Yeah, we can talk about Trump.
Politics.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds good. Are you religious?
But we can start.
Are you Christian?
But we can start with the idea of your criticisms of the Whatever podcast, correct?
Oh, of course. I mean, we can talk about
and
that.
when can we schedule this?
Anytime.
Oh, well, let's schedule it now and let's do it live, because that way you can't back out later.
Can you add Dean up too so we can schedule? Because I need him to be up. So
yeah, add Dean. Add Dean. Yeah.
And also, Brian, can I get like a specific response of why you've been so scared to debate?
Hold on, Dean needs to send another request in.
Okay.
I don't know why you're smug. Neither one of you are good debaters, and I'm going to crush both of you easily.
And you have to say that to make yourself feel better. It's okay. But
I mean, we'll
Brian,
see. We'll see live,
response.
Parker. Like, I've debated with you before, and you failed multiple times. You didn't even know it was me.
I have a good idea.
That's how bad you are at it.
Brian.
Well, here's what I want to do. Here's what
I have a good idea. I have a good idea. How about we schedule our debate for right now? Why is slut shaming good?
I only have like what 9 minutes more left.
Yeah, he only has 9 minutes, Dean.
Yeah, I have a dinner with my girlfriend and my family.
Yeah, this is.
I already have a little bit as well. 9 minutes. Let's run it real quick.
No, let's do an in-person debate.
God, I want to debate right here, right now.
Wait, but Brian, will you be involved in that debate, or are you going to run away from that?
Yes.
Yeah,
2v1 on your criticisms or whatever.
I'm down for the 2v2.
Okay, perfect. That sounds great. In person
When?
2v2, which day?
Yeah, we want to know when though.
God,
And
dude,
you both have to come.
How
You both
about-
have to come.
I have an idea. I'm not gonna lie, Brian. I spent $535 on a plane ticket out to LA a couple months ago.
If you guys show up, I'll reimburse it.
You
If
can't.
you guys show up, I'll reimburse it. If you guys show up, I'll reimburse it.
One moment. and then you cancel on me day of, and you do not and you fail to reschedule, I would be more than willing to debate you guys in an online setting, but I will not be dedicating my attention, focus.
Okay, then get out of here. Goodbye.
So you're scared of me.
Yeah, then goodbye. You already made the agreement and you lied. Bro, you made the agreement to me and you lied.
Yeah, and then I backed out of.
Yeah, you backed out. Exactly. You backed out, you coward.
I'm not a coward because I'll debate you online. You're scared of me.
Why does it have to be online?
To be fair, I doubt if their moms could teach them about being a man.
Because you're not worth my
You
time.
cheat, Dean, like you did. When Parker was feeding you information in your Fuentes debate, you were cheating.
Right now
Oh, wow. So do you want me to close my eyes and debate you with my eyes?
No,
closed?
I want you to show up with your facts, with your stats, and I don't want it to be me versus 5,000, but me versus you, you
Andrew,
chicken.
Andrew, I'm going to mog you right now. So I will debate you online with my eyes
You
closed.
could never mog me in a million years, you grifting scumbag. Remember when you
I
did
mog
the
you every
whole...
day.
Do you
I mog you
remember,
every
do
day.
you remember
Total
when you
deflection
pretended you
debate.
were Andrew Tate? Do you remember that?
Oh man,
Yeah,
well,
that was
you should have
hilarious.
that Bible and you.
It was. I mean, it was hilarious for all the wrong reasons. But this aside, you're not going to ever mog anything.
I
Do
already
you want to
do.
do?
I already
Parker
do.
came on and made the agreement to do a 2v2,
I'll
and
do
now
it.
is refusing.
All
No,
1v2.
let's do it
All
right
still
now.
1v2. All
Let's-
1v2
let's-
online or in
Okay,
person.
goodbye,
Right
goodbye,
now.
Dean. You already backed
He's running
out.
away.
Goodbye.
Andrew's
I
backing
can't
out.
run away from a debate you won't accept.
I'm accepting
He said
it. I want to
online.
do it right now.
Wait, Andrew,
Yeah,
why-
you say you'll
Andrew,
only do it on. Why won't you do it in
Andrew,
person,
Andrew,
Dean?
Andrew,
Because
I'll
you're
do-
not worth
I'll-
my time. I'm bigger
They-
than you.
He just accused them of cheating, that they're using their computers and having like feed and like getting information from other debaters. Why would you want to do it like from your house if you're not doing that? Like that's a way you can prove you're a good debater. Show up and do the debate.
Yeah, I have a
They're
way
gonna pay
bigger
you.
platform than you by engagement.
No,
Way
you don't.
bigger.
What are
Yes,
you
I
talking
do.
about?
My average
Andrew,
live
you're
streams got
delusional.
between 5,000 to 7,000 per debate. What about
Yeah,
you?
we get more
Oh
than
my
that.
God.
What are
Where are you at right this second?
Be
Yeah,
quiet, be
just
quiet.
stop. It's
We-
cool. Where are you at on YouTube, Parker? When you go live, where are you at?
you? YouTube or here on TikTok, where my platform
Yeah,
is.
YouTube.
Oh,
And TikTok's
YouTube, I
easy
don't
to
go
get
live on
dude.
YouTube.
Wait, if
Yeah,
TikTok was
yeah,
easy,
TikTok's
like-
super easy.
Wait,
if
Andrew, what do you get
TikTok
when you
was
go on
super easy-
TikTok?
If TikTok was super easy, how come you guys had
Me?
100 viewers before Parker rated you?
Because it's the first time he's ever gone live.
Oh,
We're
but I
just
thought
doing
it
a
was
test
easy,
stream.
Andrew. What happened?
It is easy.
Oh, so
Wait,
the
Dean, how
live
many
video-
viewers did you get the first time you came on live, Dean?
Oh, I think I got, what was it, 1.7 thousand? The very first.
Wow, yeah, because it's super easy.
Oh, but like he had 100 by himself. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I can
You're
completely
punching up on
rep-
Andrew,
By the
do
way,
you-
by the way,
Andrew, have you ever hosted
Dean,
a live?
Dean,
Andrew, have you ever hosted a
can you
live?
help me out? Yeah,
Okay, how many viewers did you get?
I think it was 1.7.
1.7. Okay,
Yeah.
so only once?
That was the only time I ever did it. Yeah.
Only one live.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean,
What do you?
Lives on TikTok are free, basically. You're just kind of wasting time. It's a hobby. It's not really a job.
Mooing about. Do you have proof to the contrary, Park?
Well,
I mean, I wouldn't be able to.
Hey,
justify
okay, hang on.
just,
Can
like,
you
saying-
let Dean? Can you let
Yeah.
Parker talk?
Instead
So
of-
Parker,
No, you
Parker,
go.
can you
You
show
can
me
go.
proof to the contrary, Parker?
That wouldn't make any sense. It's like saying, "Show me proof unicorns don't
Well,
exist."
then here's the thing, though.
Show me proof unicorns don't exist, Andrew.
I'm sorry, Parker.
Can
Let
you
me
show
get
me
this
proof
right.
unicorns
You
don't
just
exist?
smugly said "mm-hmm" as though you doubted it.
Yeah. What?
Why? Based on?
Because I don't trust your character. I don't trust.
Oh,
what
well,
you
I don't
say.
trust your character, Parker, because
Okay,
you've
are we
already
gonna
lied.
debate or is Andrew
You
still
guys
going?
already lied about showing up to do a live debate. So
I
here's,
never
here's what I'm
lied.
willing-
I never lied. You
Here's
guys
what I'm willing
canceled
to
day
hang
of.
on.
What are you
Here's what I'm
talking
willing to do.
about?
Since Dean refuses to show up, you'll
God,
do a
because you're not worth
1v2,
my
Parker?
time. I'll debate you right here, right now.
Let's
from
debate
Yeah, I know.
online.
You do it
Andrew, why won't you
online, I
debate
know.
online? Why won't you debate him
Because
online?
I know that Dean cheats. I
Oh
saw
my
it
God,
happen.
Cheats?
Look at this. Look
Mhm.
at this.
Cheats? What?
Yeah.
Okay, look at this. I'm not even home. I'm not in the studio.
He'll debate you.
They've heard this
blindfolded.
before.
Okay,
Yes, I will
how
debate
about
you
that?
blindfolded.
That crazy cackling laugh. He told them that in the last video that they cheated. So it's all theatrics.
Okay, well then, here's what we'll do then, Parker. We'll drop you, and I'll do a 1v1 with Dean right now.
Okay, well, I mean, I gotta go anyway. So, I mean, I'll
Okay,
be
see you
quiet.
later.
I'll be quiet just until I have to.
No,
leave.
you'll just leave,
I'll
and I'll do
mute.
the 1v1 now.
Wait, so hold on. Before we do that, I'm fine to have you guys do the 1v1. Dean, what are your actual objections to doing a 2v2 in person? I'd much prefer to do this in person.
Do you want me to be honest with you? You're not worth my time.
Oh, then why are you here?
Because you're worth this much amount of time, but not.
Oh, okay. So we're worth your time, but we're not worth your time. That makes a lot of
Wait,
sense.
he meant like to go in person and fly. You understand the difference between
Yeah.
flying to someone in person versus like debating them on an online space? So like,
Yeah.
why
Oh,
won't
so
you just do it on an
so
online
who's,
space?
so wait, so whose live is worth going on?
If it's online, then it's fine.
No, whose live is
In
worth going on
person?
in person? Yeah.
In person?
At the time, whatever podcast was probably about like top 2 or 3 on the internet, like on YouTube. I mean, it was really they were getting thousands of dollars of super chats every episode. So to say that that's not worth your time, like women, these OnlyFans girls, they fly from all over the world just to get the promotion on the whatever podcast. And these two morons, now I say morons, but they know they would lose that debate. So maybe it is smart. Maybe they are smart.
Well, like Jubilee, like he did.
Yeah, I've
or
been on
like when
Jubilee
we went
too.
to the White House, like because we got invited by the president, like that. Something like that.
So wait a second. So for creators, haven't you gone in person to other creators who have smaller platforms than Brian?
Who?
I'm asking you.
No, I
you?
haven't. No.
Not you, Dean.
Dean hasn't.
Nope.
Wait,
You've never done it. You've never. Are you sure?
bro. Dean, you went on Steiny's.
Yeah, and that was way bigger than yours.
Yeah, sorry, Brian.
Dude, you're like, dude, I'm sorry, Brian, but you're kind of like irrelevant, bro.
Also, like, can I also just point it out there that Steiny flew me out on a semi-private airline and then put me up in a very fine hotel for a night. And
I'll fly you out first class and give you a hotel room.
Okay. Well, Andrew, you're not even gonna make money off of that, so I wonder where you're getting that money from.
What do you mean?
Well, shit.
Dude,
I'm
I'm
sorry,
sorry,
doesn't pay
Parker.
you.
You meant Parker. You might want to look
Brian
this up.
doesn't pay you.
I don't know if you know this or not, but I'm consistently in the top 5 most super chatted shows in the United States. I don't know if you knew that.
Okay, well, I'm just saying Brian doesn't pay you.
Oh God. Okay.
I don't. Do I need Brian to pay me?
What's with the meta conversation? I have like 10 minutes myself. Parker has to.
Good point. You're proving the opposite point. He goes out just for promotion. Brian doesn't pay him to be on that show. So when he was going out there every time, that was on his own dime because of the promotion and how big Andrew the Crucible got just from like the collaboration.
The pure soon. Why is slut shaming good?
Yeah, we're not getting into that just yet. We're finishing the combo here.
Guys, wasting my time. See, this
He's
is
like, I only
You
want a
don't
meta
I don't
combo.
understand why the time. I want to know a few things from you. The first thing, Dean, that I'd like to
Wait,
know,
Andrew, just
is
answer the
why it
question. Why is
stop
slut shaming good?
talking, Parker?
Why is
Stop-
slut shaming
stop
good?
talking.
Answer the
Stop
question.
talking,
About
Parker.
debating.
I'm going to answer the question, but first, I want to finish this. So, Dean, you came on my stream live. You agree that that's true after you called me out via somebody else's stream. That is correct, right?
Yeah.
Okay. On that stream, you made an agreement that you would come on the whatever podcast for 2 events. One event would be a debate. The other event would be that you would mingle with the crowd itself and get the feel for the show so that you could make sure that your criticisms were valid, which I thought was fair. We both entered into that agreement live. And now later you're backing out of the agreement. So let me ask you this. If it's that you're unwilling to do it on Brian's venue for whatever reason, because you have some bad history with him, can we select a different venue for this live debate?
This venue. Yeah, sure. Let's select this venue right here.
No, an in-person debate.
Okay. Why do you want it to be in person?
Well, because you cheat, Dean.
Oh my God, Andrew, you can't
Literally have his camera
Can
on.
I
and
give you
block
can
it
I
out.
give you my
have a-
reference? Can I give you my reference for your cheating?
No, I have a counter offer. So here's what we'll do. This will be really funny, and the clips will be like top tier. What we should do is we should both turn on our webcams. I will put a blindfold.
Well, I can't because the
and I will
program
put my hands up in the air,
Mhm.
and I will steamroll you anywhere. And honestly, I think it's a compliment that you say that I cheat because that just tells me that I'm good at what I do.
Okay. Well, let's I'll tell you what. Turn on your webcam, put on the blindfold, let's go.
Okay, I gotta get going now, but
Yeah, go.
I
Goodbye, Parker.
appreciate
See you
y'all.
later.
Have fun, Dean.
Let's do it, Dean.
All right, I have about 10 minutes here before me and my girlfriend go down to Best Buy.
Get the blindfold on, Dean. Stop talking.
What's his name?
Oh, you don't
Needs
like
to be
it?
talk. Not a lot of
Yeah, I'm
people
just
do.
we'll talk as soon as you hold your end of the bargain, which you're bad at doing.
All right, Mr. Andrew. So go ahead and give me the argument here. Why is salute shaming a good thing?
Yeah, get your blindfold on first, Dean.
You're funny, Andrew.
I know.
Also, I will ask you just.
What about when you were saying the Insler? Was your heart racing there?
Oh no, because that's when I was 14 and a lot like you. I bet you're mad that I was just as mature as you are today at the age of 14, sir. You should grow up, kind of.
Oh
like
man, oh boy, you got me with that.
But
All right,
let's-
you got your
why is
blindfold
salute
on.
Shaming good.
So yeah, I think that social shaming in general is good, and I think that if you want to see less salutes in society, that social shame is going to assist with that.
All right, now I'd like to pick up where you left off with a prior guest. You had asked that guest why they do not think that promiscuity is wrong, and then they were like, I don't think it's wrong because I feel like I don't think it's wrong. And you said,
Sure.
well, you actually have to give reason. And I'd actually
No, I didn't. No, Dean, that's incorrect. I didn't say you have to give a reason. I just said if your reason is just because I feel that way, then it's a perfectly good counter to say, well, then my reason is because I feel that way.
Ah, perfect. So I'll expand a little bit on what she was trying to say, as I would entail that given my own position.
Funny he took his camera off.
Promiscuity, I do not believe.
What do you? Well, wait, hang on. What do you mean you would entail? What does that mean?
Can you repeat what I just said? I'm talking so fast.
Yeah, well, I just want to make sure that I understand what you mean by entail. And entailment is what?
I give an X is typically what an entailment is. But to clarify on what
Wait, can you say that again? I didn't hear you. You're very quiet.
Why give an X is what an entailment is. But what have you just given me? Oh my God. Okay.
I don't understand. I just want to know what an entailment is.
Yeah, I told you what an entailment is. It's why.
Okay, tell me again, but be very clear.
Y given X.
Y given X is an entailment?
Yeah, now I'm going to go back to what I was saying. I don't think.
Yeah, can you walk me through how Y given X, or Y given X, what that means?
Shit, Andrew, you want to do anything?
I want to be highly specific with our language. Dean, semantics are super important in a debate. You agree, right?
I actually don't think that the use of that word in that context was important at all, as it wasn't relevant to.
Well, entailment's a philosophical term. It's relevant. So can you just very quickly walk me through?
That, Andrew, I don't think it's relevant.
Well, I'm sorry. So when we're doing a debate, yeah, if we're doing a debate, a philosophical debate,
you know
what?
What's a fire truck? I think that's relevant.
Yeah. So anyway, so if we're doing a philosophical debate and you're talking about semantics and you say a word like entailment, which is a loaded philosophical term, I need to know what you mean by that.
Okay. Well, how about I refuse because I want to stay on track.
Because he doesn't know.
Hang on. This is on track. You don't have the mute button. We're doing a philosophical debate. Can you please explain to me what entailment means?
Oh, all right. Such as a logical entailment. It's just going to say if X is true, then Y must also be true. But I don't.
No, that's not what an entailment is.
Okay, that's how I use the term entailment. Do you use it?
So you use your own term for philosophical entailment?
When we define any words that we use in any colloquial sense, in any conversation.
Yeah, you can, but they have to make sense. So all you mean by entailment is if X, then Y?
Yes.
No. Uh-oh.
If you really knew, he would just say it's conditional.
Okay. Well, then I'll remember that that's what entailment means. Go ahead.
Thank you. So now, anyways, back to what matters, because you don't want to talk about it. You're making the claim that I have to have some reason justify the position that promiscuity isn't wrong. I
didn't make that claim.
Okay, you made that claim to the prior.
When did I make the claim?
To the prior.
What was my actual position? Can you steel man it for me?
Of course. You made the claim, well, first of all, she made the statement that it's not bad because I feel like it's not bad. And then you made the statement, well, if you want to say that, then I could say it's bad because I feel.
Notice he was off camera when he was trying to define that word, too. More proof he's a cheater.
I feel like it's bad. But
yeah, what's wrong? What's the problem with that?
Yeah, because I would say that we have to posit reason for any positive statement, even in the
why?
Negativity.
Yeah, why?
Because we should have reason for the things that we believe.
Why?
Because we want to be reasonable people. Are you saying that?
Yeah, but that doesn't. Wait. So we should use reason because we should use reason, Dean.
Yeah.
Is that right, Dean? We should use reason because we should use reason. Boy, you really thought that one out.
In fact, that's not what I said. That was a.
He's fucking stupid. How did you ever think you could take me on, Dean? All right. So we should use reason because we should use reason.
I'd
Go
actually
ahead.
like to clarify that. I actually think it's funny that you think you could take me on because the only way
you're getting destroyed, Dean. It's not, dude. It's not even close. But keep going.
Andrew,
I can't wait.
I'm not getting destroyed at all because you just told me the only way to justify.
Yeah, just keep telling yourself that.
You keep telling yourself.
No. You said that reason. You said the reason that we should use reason is because it's reasonable.
Actually, that's not what I said. I'd like to correct.
Okay, then why should we use reason? Dean?
Yeah, because axiomatically speaking, we should all want to be reasonable individuals, and being a reasonable.
What is that? Well, wait. Okay, well, Dean, axiomatically speaking, we shouldn't all be reasonable.
Person, Andrew? Oh,
it's just an axiom, Dean. It's just an axiom, Dean. What's wrong with an axiom?
Tell me that you don't want to be a reasonable person. Tell me that you don't.
Well, if you state that axiomatically,
you can't even argue.
You're still spurging, Dean. You're still spurging.
Blindfold off.
You're spurging. Why? Because you're freaking out. Dean, you're spurging out bad.
Guess he just lost, right?
Unjustified claims without evidence in order.
Boy, you're really spurging, Dean. So anyway, Dean, when you say that something is axiomatic.
Wait. Sorry, Andrew, I got to interrupt. Dean, you're in breach. You're breaching the agreed upon terms.
Yeah, but he does that.
Back on.
They do lie. He does lie a lot.
What if he's got to look something up?
The ninth circle of hell here. I have a blindfold on my face. He's screaming at me. Why should you be? You know.
That is the best way to describe being stuck in a debate with Andrew Wilson.
Nobody screamed. No, the only one screaming is you, Dean.
Do you have a pink blindfolds you could use?
No, I don't.
So anyway, Dean, why should we use axioms?
Oh, Jesus Christ. I'm not answering.
I don't understand what you're saying. You're not going to answer my question. You don't know why we should use axioms?
Yeah, because I want to debate you on your position that slut shaming.
Yeah, and we are debating on the position. We're starting with with what you consider the philosophical entailment, which is if A then B. Okay, you seem to be very upset, Dean. Do you want to do this debate or not?
Yeah, I asked you a question. Walk me through.
Okay, what's the question?
The original prompt. Demonstrate.
Yeah, we're talking about the original prompt. I'm talking to you right now about the original prompt. You say that, so your criticism, if I can steel man you, if you don't mind, is that an entailment is if A then B. Okay, but also that it was incorrect for me to do an internal critique of somebody else's position if they say that based on their feelings X is true, and I can't say, well, then therefore based on my feelings Y is true. So then we went into meta ethics, which we would have to do in order to make a determination about truth claims at all, about knowledge claims at all. And so we're starting with the premise of what is an axiom and why ought we use one, Dean?
Okay, Andrew. So here's where you misstepped. So it was on the second part where you said that I had said that in order for her position to be true, that yours also has to be true. And you're saying that I denied that. I'll go ahead and reposit my claim. However, I'd like to be very clear to Andrew, to Brian, and to everybody watching that if you just allow me a minute to speak. Andrew doesn't feel comfortable talking about what really matters here, such as the morality of slut shaming.
Well, hang on, morality. Wait. We're talking about meta ethics. That is related to morality. Right now, I'm just trying to figure out from your perspective why we should use axioms when we're making moral claims.
I actually was making a descriptive claim. You can't track.
Okay, what's descriptive about your claim?
Yes, I said that I said that we should be reasonable.
That's an ought claim, not a descriptive claim.
Not even getting into the fact that reasonability is very dependent. That's subjective. Every person's idea of what respectability is different.
But the should there when it
what does the word should mean, Dean?
Should can exist in a normative.
You should really take my course on debating, Dean. It would help you.
You should.
So no, when we're talking about normativity,
Help me.
you could have a normative ought and a non-normative ought, and typically when
what's a non-normative ought?
Yeah, because they're going to be conducive to some goal, right? Aside from like your ethical principles. Like for instance, I could give you an
okay. Oh, so wait a second. I just want to make sure.
Like
you're making a moral claim that is not an ought claim. Is that correct?
No, it's not a moral claim. Yet it is.
No, it's not a moral claim.
Right. For instance, if we're playing chess and the best way for me to make is to move a pawn up a square, I'd say it'd be good for me to move that pawn. But when I say it'd be good for me to move that pawn, am I saying it's a morally good thing for me to move that pawn, Andrew?
No, but if you're making a moral claim when you say should, if you're making a moral, you made a moral claim and said should though. That's an ought for morality. Okay, but go ahead, restate your position. Go ahead.
Dean, just
don't mute him, Brian. Never mute him. Unmute him.
I'm going to let them both speak, but you guys got to let each other talk, okay? Just let me finish your
Fair
sentence.
enough. Go ahead, Dean.
Go ahead, Dean. Go ahead.
Thank you. So I'm happy that I could clear up that non-normative oughts could exist with my example of a chess game. Now that we move past this pedantic bullshit, here's what I want to tell you. You cannot give.
Well, no. Well, hang on. There's just one more clarifier. When you say normative, you said a non-normative claim. I just want to make sure when you say normative,
you're running away.
I just want.
Do not use words you don't know the meaning of against Andrew Wilson, because he will smell it and he will fucking rub your nose in it.
I make sure when you say normative going forward, you're not saying ought, right? When you say normative, you're not saying ought. You're saying something else.
So once again, I've described this to you twice already. I'll describe it for a third time. You could have normative should claims, meaning that it's morally good to do something, and you could have descriptive should claims insofar as it's conducive towards the goal.
Got it. So what was the descriptive part of your claim?
Yeah, it's like the descriptive part of the claim was to say that we should be reasonable insofar as that's conducive towards the goal of a higher level of rationale. Now, if you will let me get back to the fucking topic, all you want to engage in this meta conversation because you can't give me one good reason why promiscuity is wrong.
You give me a good reason why you should not be promiscuous?
Why is promiscuity inherently wrong?
Oh, inherently wrong. Well, let's clear up a few terms. So I just want to make sure, what does wrong mean?
Something you shouldn't do in this sense.
Okay, so it is a normative claim?
Yeah, I'm guessing you're making a normative claim with your background, Andrew.
Well, I just want to make sure. So when we say wrong,
because it's your
Okay, but Dean, there's a reason we're clearing this up. When you say wrong, you mean immoral, right?
Yeah, wrong means shouldn't, means immoral, and the normative sense that you're describing when you make the claim that sweet shaming is good. I'm guessing you mean that normatively, right?
As a moral ought.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm running a counter argument against you. I'm internally critiquing your stance. So when I say, give me a reason why
I see.
Christian ethics, then. There's your answer.
wrong, go for it.
Yeah. So let's dive through this. So we'll just kind of start at the beginning, and then we'll move it through until we get to the end.
5 more minutes. I just want to make that clear.
Okay. Yeah. So let's start with a normative claim that shame is a useful tool. Okay. Well, I'll start with this. Shame is a useful tool when you're trying to mold society into, X thing that you want. Shame can be a useful tool. Why we ought to use shame is because we can utilize that as some type of imperative to any type of morality that we're trying to produce on society. Use a utilitarian or whatever would basically agree that this is the case, right?
I generally agree that it's okay to shame bad things.
Yeah. So it's an effective method, and you would agree from your worldview that shame ought to be employed at times, right?
Yeah, it's generally good. It's a good thing to shame bad things. Now, my question: give me one reason why promiscuity is wrong.
Give me one reason why murder is.
Yeah, one reason why murder is wrong is because it's a violation. That was a damning non-answer. Stop pivoting and answer mine. Give me.
Wait. I'm sorry. What was your answer?
Yeah, that's a rights violation. Now give me a reason.
Oh, okay.
Wrong.
It's a rights violation. Okay. Hang on, Dean. We're just making sure we get the terms clarified. When you say rights, where do rights exist?
I'm not going into the meta-ethical conversation with you. This is a pivot. I'm failing to.
It's not a pivot for us to clarify language.
It is. It is absolutely a pivot.
Yeah. So you won't get into meta ethics?
I'm not going to get into your pivot. No, I refuse.
So I don't understand how am I supposed to debate with you on these terms if we can't get to the meta ethics so that we can decide which terms are what, why they're that way, and then how we can actually hang on, Dean, calm down. I honestly want to do this with you. I just want to clear this stuff up. That's it.
Holy shit, Andrew! But we actually shouldn't even be debating about this right now.
Turn into a headband.
I asked you for one reason.
Should it in a normative sense or a non-normative sense?
Non-normative sense. So I asked you for one reason.
Non-normative. Okay. Just so in a descriptive sense, we shouldn't be debating it.
4, good boy. Allow me to finish. So I asked you for one reason why promiscuity.
You still got the blindfold on.
Because I mean, we're not. I'm just.
You're just cheating again.
Okay. 5, 4, 3. Good boy. All right. So I asked you for one reason why promiscuity is wrong, and then you responded to me by saying, "What's one reason murder is wrong?" So actually, Andrew, that was a pivot around my question. Analytically speaking.
Well, hey, hang on. I think that's fair, but the only reason I answer the question with a question is because you refuse to get into the meta ethics of what wrong means. And so I used what's called a demonstration. I used a demonstration in order to try in some way from your worldview to understand what wrong was. You made the claim then that what wrong is something which is a violation of rights. Great. Now we're getting somewhere. So then what is a right and where does it exist? This is really pivotal to a debate, Dean.
I actually reject that. Demonstrate the relevance of me telling you in accordance with my framework of deontic duties, what is relevant in describing my normal.
Because I don't understand what you mean by the term. Yeah. So because I don't understand what you mean by the term wrong. I don't understand what you mean by the term wrong. I don't understand what that means.
1, good boy. Allow me to finish. Andrew, stop.
You just told me. You just asked me the question.
3, 2.
How are you going to ask me a question and then when I answer it, you start counting? Why are you still counting? Can you just engage, Dean?
Can you tell which one of these guys didn't have a dad to slap the shit out of him? Can you tell?
Demonstrate more maturity than my 6-year-old nephew. You have one.
Yeah, I don't know. You're the one. Bro. You asked me a question, then when I answered it, you cut in.
I was not asking you a question. In fact, I was in the middle of a statement. I was not asking you a question.
Okay.
Getting old.
Well, go ahead with your statement. Go ahead.
But that's okay. Don't worry. I'll catch you up to speed. So here's the big issue. At this.
Hang on, woman. Bring me another beer.
Oh.
You can ask your grandma or whoever's house you're living in. You'll grab you a beer. But go ahead.
Oh, I am living at my grandparents, but luckily right now I'm at the girlfriend.
I guess TikTok doesn't pay that well, huh? All those subscribers and you don't have any money. Eventually you'll be on YouTube, son.
And unlike you, I don't treat women in my life like shit, and that's why I won't die alone. Anyways, going back.
I'm married, Dean. I'm married.
With a house full of kids.
Yeah, that's the thing. You will still die alone, unfortunately, most likely. I mean, at some point we all have. And if you
What?
continue to
Dean,
say,
why
Why-
don't you make an argument? Make
Oh,
an
okay.
argument, Dean.
Yeah, go ahead, Dean.
Feelings getting hurt. I'll bow the knee on that topic, going back to what I originally came here to discuss. So I asked you for one reason why promiscuity is wrong. Andrew, be honest, in a yes or no, have you answered that question?
Well, I don't understand the coherency of the question.
Not yet.
Dean, let him.
I have listen. I have to understand what you mean by these terms. Do you know why? So do you hang on, Dean? Let me explain. Do you agree with me? I'll just ask you this question. Do you agree with me that people can come up with any definition they want for a word, any definition they want, they can come up with, right?
Yeah, sure. I'll clear the air. I understand exactly what you're asking for.
Great. So then the thing is that hang on, Dean. I'm just going to follow up real quick and then I'll let you talk. So if that is the case, and it is the case that everybody can have their own definitions of everything, when we're getting into these moral claims, you're asking me to give you a moral reason why X is wrong. Then we need to know what we mean by morals. We need to know exactly what you mean when you're asking me what wrong is. And we need to know what these things are. That's why the meta-ethical discussion is so important. But anyway, go ahead.
Of course.
Hey, blindfold. Hey,
Yeah,
Dean. Thank you, Dean.
Always
And if you're
cheating.
curious what's behind my phone, it is my girlfriend folding her clothes. Anyways, I don't think that I'll be cheating. Anyways, so I asked you for one reason why promiscuity is morally wrong.
That's a loaded question.
So when we say morally wrong, all that we're saying
Why is his girlfriend folding clothes at Gam Gam's house?
is that it's something that you shouldn't do in a normative sense. And insofar as where this wrongness is generated from, this would be entailed given your view, as this is an internal critique. So I am not subjugating you, right, to my view. So I'm
not critiquing your view. I'm asking simply. So hang on. I'm not critiquing your view. I'm not doing an internal critique. I agree that you're doing an internal critique of my view, and I'm happy to answer to these things. But Dean, listen, just chill out, bro. I just listened to what you said. But what you're asking are loaded philosophical terms, and so forth.
Loaded question to ask you for a reason.
Bro, would you calm down?
Dude,
again.
If there's a white supremacist on the street,
boy, man, you're really freaking out here, Dean.
1 second.
You need to stop spurging, bro.
If there's like a Christian evangelicist on the street and they're like preaching.
What's an evangelicist?
Oh, I'm not answering that question. And they're preaching that it's wrong.
Oh, you don't know what an I've never heard. Is evangelicist a word? I'm looking it up.
I mispronounced it, but it's going to be typically more
evangelicist.
Catholic Church down south, particularly.
No, you mean an evangelist, not an evangelicist.
Yes,
okay, gotcha.
So, are you going to highlight the fact that I mispronounced that word? Are you going to listen to me insofar as why you will not answer the question?
Words matter, Dean. I'm just trying to be very specific here.
I actually doubt that there was any.
Well, won't you debate me on the meaning of this word I just made up?
Any level of relevance to you interrupting me and correcting my pronunciation of the word? You just cannot.
I want to make sure I know what you're talking about, Dean. I'm sorry.
I actually completely doubt that. I think that you can't hang.
Well, I mean, you doubt. I'm sorry, you doubt things.
Rather talk about anything.
Sorry about your emotional state, Dean.
Well, I appreciate you apologizing for my emotional state, as you're the one that.
Yeah. I am sorry that you're in that emotional state. Yes.
So, anyways, I will go and repeat what I said. It is not a philosophically loaded question for me to ask you a reason why you think something's bad. If you continue to posit the view that it is, I will leave because you're not worth my time.
Okay, well, nobody cares if you leave, Dean. Go ahead.
Run away.
So you're refusing to answer the question.
No, I just want to dive in. I want to dive in, bro. Do you
do what I want or I'm leaving?
Agree with me that it's highly important.
That's a weird debate tactic. Do what I want or I'm leaving.
Important. Semantics in a debate are highly important. The meta-ethical foundation, what we mean by terms, is absolutely important before we can.
Let him.
No, you don't agree.
Let each other finish, please. Let each other finish.
I don't think that your meta-ethical view, insofar is the internal critique that I'm running on you on where you think wrongness is derived of.
Yeah, but I need to understand what you're asking. Yeah, well, where it's derived. Listen, that's fair. Like it's fair to run Dean, you can run your internal critique. All we have to do is clarify some meta-ethics. That's it.
Well, if I'm running an internal critique, what meta-ethical framework would we be operating under?
My understanding of the coherency of what you're asking.
No, it is your understanding of how you view meta-ethics. Why is it relevant for us to talk about my view on that?
Because you said the word wrong. You're asking me about the word wrong.
Yes, but
so it's important for me. Hang on, bro. Do you want me to answer?
Your view.
All right,
you let me know. I'm leaving.
Andrew, can
Nobody can. Okay, so real quick, Dean. There's a couple things here. First, nobody gives a shit if you leave. Second, okay, it's super important for me to understand the cohesiveness of the terms that you're using when you're asking me these
Blindfold's a little high too, right?
questions so that I can give you the answers to them. This is Philosophy 101. There's a course you should take. It's called Debate University. You would get a lot of value out of it. Right now, it's on sale through the new year, by the way.
Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and just posit this as a last statement. If you can answer my question following from this, I'm going to go ahead and dip. So all that I've tried to do, and the entire time that this debate has been unfolding, is I've tried to ask you one simple question. The one simple question that I've tried to ask you is give me one reason why you think promiscuity is wrong. Okay? And in our conversation so far, allow me to finish before you interject. You've asked me about my meta-ethical framework. You've asked me about what I mean by an entailment. You've asked me what I mean by an axiom. You've tried to talk to me about how you pronounce.
This is actually just Andrew toying with him a little bit, though, because he's going to eventually answer and say Christian morality. His framework comes from Christian values. So he's just toying with him a little bit and trying to poke fun at the fact that he doesn't know the words that he's using.
Sounds like certain words related to the Christian faith, but meanwhile, you've been able to successfully evade everything but giving me an answer to that question. In fact, the first time I asked you this question on can you name one reason why promiscuity is wrong, you literally responded to me by asking me for a reason why I think murder is wrong. So Andrew, and in good faith, I will ask you one last time. The question I'm asking you very specifically is, are you able, literally, I don't even know if you're able to do this, your abstract thinking ability is incredibly low, are you able to name one singular reason why promiscuity is wrong? Now, it is important for me to clarify in terms because you deem semantics to be incredibly valuable and important to these conversations. Yes. When I am asking you for one reason why you deem this to be wrong, all that I'm asking you is why do you think that this is something that we shouldn't do? I don't care what your meta-ethical framework is. I don't care if you think that this is something that we shouldn't do objectively or subjectively. I don't really care what your normative view is. All that I want is for one reason why this would sufficiently justify your normative criterion insofar as
Hang on 1 second, Dean. There's this thing going off. Hang on. Okay, go ahead.
What the fuck is that?
So I've already clarified that I don't care about your meta-ethical view.
I
and I don't really care about your normative view that much either, because at the end of the day, all that I'm asking for is your internal reasons why this sufficiently justifies your standard for moral wrongness under your normative view. So at this point, the same way I'd ask someone that thinks being gay is wrong, why they think being gay is wrong, the same way to ask someone that thinks racism isn't wrong is why do they think that racism is bad. I'm asking you to provide one singular reason why promiscuity is wrong.
And I can't wait to do that. I just want to ask you a couple of clarifying questions. That's all I'm asking for.
Here, Dean, hold on. Andrew, if Dean answers the questions, like how long will it, like 3 minutes, 2 minutes? How long?
Just a few questions so that we can clear up a few.
Okay, do you need 2 minutes? Andrew, how much?
Give me like just a few questions, maybe like 2-3 questions.
Okay, Dean, is that okay? Dean, can you answer just 2 or 3 questions for Andrew?
I failed to see any possible question that would be relevant. What are your questions? I mean, let's see if they're relevant.
For the sake of time, just answer them, and then.
So the first question is, what does wrong mean when you're asking me if something is wrong? What does that mean?
I already clarified on that. You weren't listening.
Yeah, I know. Clarify again, though, please.
Are you listening? I said it.
I just want to be precise here. What do you mean when you say wrong?
I already said it. I said it again. It's something that you should.
Yeah, say it again, please, so that I understand.
It's something you shouldn't do in a normative sense.
Okay, so you ought not do the thing.
Yes, bro. Holy shit.
Okay, so we ought not do the thing. Now, the second question that I have is when you say ought, are all oughts axiomatic?
All right, Andrew, fuck you. You're wasting my time.
All right.
All right, let's get to the next one. The next one, I'm sorry I made y'all put up with a little bit of Dean Withers here in this one. It was started off as Parker, but we're going to get to the reason I'm showing these debaters. They're terrible. They don't understand even how debates work. They want to go off of this vague term, bad. Is this thing bad? At one point he said, is racism bad? Why is it racism not bad or whatever? Bad and good are like relative terms. What you think is bad may be good for me. That's why you need to find out what you mean by bad and good. You have to get to the root of what that word actually means before you can debate on it. So it's very important. Andrew's right. You do need to get the meanings of the words you're going to throw around and know what they mean for sure, because he will smell it. Oh, wait. Oh, shit. So, and the next one.
Welcome to all four of you. Well, let me start with you, Parker. Were you surprised by the reaction to what went down with Jordan Peterson?
Actually, no. I was actually expecting this to happen, as I knew before this, as I watched the Alex O'Connor debate against Jordan Peterson, that he was very, very not likely to, like being associated with Christianity. So I knew actually going into this that I was going to ask him a question specifically about whether or not he believes this to be the case, and that he would likely be not very upfront with his answer. So I actually kind of expected there to be a response like this. Now, I didn't expect it to go as viral as it did, as there are literally tens of millions of views on clips associated with mine and Danny's against Jordan Peterson all over social media. So it's actually really cool to see that, everyone across the board, whether it be Christians, atheists, Muslims, right, et cetera, actually see that like he's really not wanting to answer the question there because he doesn't want to be associated with Christianity for some reason.
And Danny, I mean, you were the smart ass in the room, according to Jordan. What's been your reaction to the fallout?
I'm generally happy that
This all sprung up from a Jubilee debate where they debated Jordan Peterson and did some of their TikTok tactics to make it look like they made a point. They're going to find out real quick, though. You'll see.
that people can see the frustration that we have with Peterson. I would say that atheists are not the only ones that are frustrated. Christians are, right? Here we have Peterson saying things like, yeah, I think Jesus might have resurrected, but I don't know what that means. Yeah, I might be a Christian in some sense. I'm a one-of-a-kind Christian. It's all wishy-washy. We're all frustrated, and I think that the video is the culmination of that frustration.
Okay, well, the good news, like I told you, is we found two far from shy Christians to take you on in this arena. Andrew Wilson, let me start.
The guy to the far right is Jay Dyer, an assassin, a very, very skilled debater. He works on some big show too. Not really sure. I forgot the name of it. Let's get into it. Jay Dyer. Go subscribe to Jay Dyer. The name of the channel is Dyer Central on YouTube. Check him out.
Start with you. What was your reaction to these two and their showdown with Jordan Peterson?
I mean, I kind of have to agree with Danny a little bit. It's like, like people have been wanting this guy to take the position on whether he's a Christian or not a Christian forever, on the right, the left, center, basically across the board. Now, I'll always be in some ways grateful to Jordan Peterson. He was one of the first who kind of started the trend of standing up to the pronouns people, which was pretty epic to watch. But, ultimately, he's kind of a shell of his former self. He didn't look great going through that debate. He looked kind of run down. I think that him being on with the Daily Wire probably hasn't been great.
That'll do it.
He's not he doesn't have the kind of edge that he used to have. But ultimately, I mean, I was actually kind of glad to see it. It's about time we know, are you or aren't you? Get off the shit or get off the pot, essentially, right? Are you a Christian or aren't you a Christian? That's a fair question.
And Jay, I mean, ultimately, these two young men on the panel today, they're sworn atheists. You obviously are not. So if you were actually conducting a debate about their atheism against your Christianity, how would you take them on, given what happened to Jordan?
Well, it depends on what you mean, Pierce. Depends on what you mean. How would I take them on? Well, I think there's a lot of different ways that you could critique an atheist position. Most of the time, I argue from the three branches of philosophy: epistemology, metaphysics, and ethics. Those are just the three branches of any worldview, and everybody has a worldview, whether they know it consciously or not. So I would critique the foundations of the atheist materialist worldview to see if it's rational, if it's coherent, if it can provide a justification for knowledge or ethical oughts. So I think that would have been a much better route. In fact, Peterson used to kind of take that approach back when he debated Sam Harris. He would call out the is-ought problem with Sam Harris. When he debated Matt Dillahunty, he would call out the exact same types of preconditions for a worldview issue that I used to do, or I usually do. So I think that'd be a better route than just sort of having this ambiguous, Jungian position of non-committal, whatever it is.
Yeah, I mean, I would say to you, Parker and Danny, that I've interviewed Jordan Peterson a lot, maybe 5-6 times on Uncensored. Quite long interviews, often quite emotional. He's an emotional guy. I would disagree with Andrew about him losing his edge. I think he's still got the edge. I also think that, putting aside the whole debate about Christianity and whether he is or not, he's always been oddly ambiguous about it to someone who's so unambiguous about everything else. But that's his right. He's entitled to do that. As a force for good, though, for young men, I do think that in comparison, for example, to Andrew Tate, that Jordan Peterson has been a far better influence over the minds of young men of your kind of age than someone like Andrew Tate would ever be. Would you agree with that, Parker?
I actually would agree with that, although the bar is literally in hell.
Right. I mean, you must see some positives in the general messaging that Jordan gives for young men about wanting to improve their lives, wanting
Parker just don't want to clean his room, I guess.
to empower themselves, opening up and so on. I mean, do you accept that about him?
I think it's good to open up, and I think it's good for like men to like want to improve their lives, but we also need to be very specific on like what is improving towards their lives. And I honestly don't think that like Jordan Peterson, like within all respects, would be upholding that. But sure, I can say he's better than someone like Andrew Tate. Like I think that's pretty obvious.
Danny, what's your view of Andrew Tate and Jordan Peterson when it comes to their influence on young men? Because it is huge.
Yeah,
we're both of them. I can tell you, when I walk around, most people under 25 who are male come up and they ask me either about Andrew Tate or Jordan Peterson.
Yeah, I feel like the question is like asking a Republican, is Joe Biden better than like Mussolini, right? I mean, it's such a vast difference. I would say that it seems like that Jordan Peterson has benefited people, mostly in the psychology realm, like, the whole 12 rules for life and stuff, which a lot of those rules seems to be rules that my grandma could tell me. But granted, the point is that, yeah, he's probably helped people. I have no problem with saying that.
All right, Andrew, let's turn to some other issues here. One is Pride Month. Now, my view of this is I don't understand why we need a whole month for Pride. I don't even get an hour as a straight guy. So why do we need a month for Pride? And it's not because I'm remotely homophobic, because I'm not.
We did the same thing in the previous debates. I don't know if you came in for that, but yeah, he needs help. He always has a teammate. He had Dean Withers in the last two.
I'm the complete opposite. I've always absolutely supported gay rights. I just don't get why we need to have a month of Pride. Beam's creatine is America's number.
Well, Pride's always
and safest supplements for supporting strength, brain, peers for up to 30% off.
very vegan.
Do not buy anything for yourselves, please.
It's been astroturfed. It was always pumped full of government money, NGO funding. It was pumped full of corporate money. There was an article that came out, you can find in the Drudge Report.
Like he uses creatine.
It came out today from, I believe it was Daily Telegram. It's pretty interesting. They went over, a lot of the modern Trump administration and what they have done with their executive orders. A lot of companies have begun moving away from trying to kind of fund this, and it hasn't been popular for the last couple of years anyway. There's been a lot of pushback on various large corporations, companies, and NGOs for trying to pump kind of artificially these organizations. One of the things that article points out, which I tend to agree with, is that, hey, look, ultimately, when these companies are doing this, people lose trust for them. You remember there was a big thing with Target not that long ago. Anytime this comes to light, there's actually a backlash. People can kind of see that it's artificially held up. There's no reason for it. It's silly. It has never really been about gay rights. It's
What do you
been
mean
about
there's no
weird-
reason for it? What do you mean?
It's
what do you mean
been
there's no
it's
reason?
been well because it's
What do
always
you mean there's
really
no
been
reason
about,
for it, right? They're
I'm
they're
trying to
bullies
an-
like
Do you want me to
you,
answer?
right?
Do you want me to answer the question or no?
Yeah, you can go ahead, and I'll explain to you why I think there's the reason after.
Okay, yeah. So there's no real reason for it. It's been about
This tough guy persona is about to go quick. Watch.
pushing sexual perversions. Never really been about anything to do with homosexuals themselves not having rights or having rights. It's never been about that. It's been about weird gay pride parades and all kinds of weird sexual stuff. It really has never been about that. And that's what the American people think. That's what they see. That's why you see companies moving away from it.
No, I don't think that's true. Look, they're gay people, like let's take you for example. You're the reason, right? When I first talked to you, right, we were having a normal debate about I think morality, and then you randomly asked me, "What's your, are you a homosexual?" As to
And
as
you
if
were,
to put me
right?
down, right? And then
And you were, right?
also with
But
and
hang on,
Jay
were you-
Dyer
was
said
I
the same
right,
thing.
though?
I didn't even need to ask him. I could tell already.
Was I right?
I'm not homosexual. No, I'm married
You
to
said
a
that you were
woman. I'm
bisexual. You said that you were
Right.
bisexual. That's
Homosexual
Same
homosexual.
is not
thing.
the same as bisexual.
There's
Maybe you can
certain
learn the
certain
definitions
ways.
of terms, but
They,
the
look,
point
there's
is
certain
that
ways that
people
people
like you and
conduct
Jay Dyer,
themselves.
people like you and Jay Dyer bully LGBTQ
Oh,
people.
yeah, everyone's
That's why
bullied,
it's
yeah, I
pride
know.
because of the kind of stigmas that you promote.
Okay, so here's the thing that's so funny about this is like if both me and Jay Dyer, both of us assumed that you were a homosexual, and both of us were right. That's what's so funny about it. We
Again,
both assumed you were
why
you
you
were
say
gay,
I'm homosexual?
and we
To be fair, I think anyone with ears kind of detected it.
were both correct that you were
Andrew.
gay.
Andrew, is there
The
anything
point is
wrong
that
with
we
him
were
being
happy-
gay?
Go ahead, Parker.
Huh?
Is there anything wrong with him being gay?
There's a problem with you guys supporting NGO-funded kind of AstroTurf program to promote rights, which aren't even about promoting rights.
Was that a response to what you said?
A whole month celebrating it.
The whole ordeal here is, well, what's the prompt, Parker? The prompt is about pride, and so you're supporting an AstroTurfed, completely AstroTurf NGO-funded thing. It has nothing to do with gay rights at all, and people don't like it, Parker. They don't like it, Parker.
Well, Parker,
So that
I would
wasn't
ask
my-
you.
an answer
I
to
would
my-
ask Parker this. Look, I mean, look, Andrew, you said
my
some
question.
things which I completely disagree with about this issue. You said women will never truly understand why men find homosexuality so depraved. We don't think there's a problem there. We know there's a problem there. I'm a man. I don't find homosexuality remotely depraved. I think people's sexuality is what it is. So I don't agree with you with some of the statements you've made. However, Parker, I am increasingly bemused why, when there are so many important things in the world to worry
I don't care that there are gay people as long as they're okay with jokes. Like that's where it gets to me. If you can't take the joke, then don't put that in your butt.
about, we devote a whole month to gay pride. Why do we?
There are plenty of things that we specifically have months for to celebrate that I think are incredibly important. This, in this specific example, is incredibly important because of the dehumanization and the bigotry espoused specifically by people like Jay Dyer and Andrew Wilson, and explicitly kicking people off of their panels because they're gay, right, or because they're homosexual, which I think is incredibly ridiculous.
But you know
right?
as
They
well
have
as
such
I
a- they
do,
have such
Parker,
a-
that,
Can I please finish?
if you
Can I please
compare
finish,
it,
Pierce?
look, well, hang on, I'll say, if you go back 35, 40 years, I would completely agree with you. But the idea that that is still the case today, I just don't feel it. Do you? I mean, certainly
Pierce,
young
have you
people,
never been on Twitter?
in particular, do not. It's just moved
Pierce,
on. hasn't it?
respectfully, how would you know as a straight person? Like, how would you, do you experience
Pierce,
it?
look,
Why are you assuming my
I wanna
sexuality?
talk-
So Parker does know as a non-straight person. I want y'all to take note of that. That might be a little confession.
talk about Piers, I want to talk about my
'Cause you've
experience
talked
when I
about
went viral. Piers, when I went viral, right? I had people message, saying, calling me the F slur, saying I had a gay lisp, right? When I'm
You
married to a
do.
woman, right? If I'm not even a homosexual, and if
Yes,
people
you
are
are.
bullying me for that, I can't imagine what actual
He has had penises in his butt, so he is a homosexual. Just make that clear.
homosexuals have to go through. So
But what
there's
is, if you don't mind me
tons of
asking, given it's now been sort of raised, and I'm not quite sure, are you straight? Are you bisexual? What's the
I'm
deal?
bisexual. I've been married to a woman happily for 5 years, and we're monogamous.
Okay.
Two gaytheists. I want to chime in.
All right.
We have two gaytheists on the panel that have said that I
See, like
bullied
this
them.
kind of
and
behavior. Look at this behavior.
that
Yeah, look
that's
at
called
it.
a joke. That's called a joke,
Yeah,
sensitive
so
man.
funny, Jay Dyer.
Oh my
It's a
God, look at this
homophobic joke.
behavior.
And that's my point. If you can't take the joke, don't put it in your butt.
Here. This behavior is
this-
out
Well,
of
you
control.
are two gay theists,
It's too
so
much
it's
behavior.
not
Bad
very-
behavior.
Wait, I'm sorry. Hold up. Are you guys Christians? I thought we're supposed to be loving to thy neighbor.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
the only
love
thing-
also includes
but-
telling you when it's wrong.
Don't you
so.
love trans people, Parker? You said that you would date a trans person. Remember that? Or was
Yeah,
it-
and what's wrong with that?
I think that
What's
you're
wrong
more,
with
I
that?
guess you are more loving than me than Parker. I wouldn't date a trans person. But
Okay,
hey,
but, okay,
he's
is that
right.
supposed to be
Two
like a
gay
critique of
atheists.
me?
So the
Wait,
problem
what
is
happened to being
that
loving?
these guys
I asked,
can't
I
give
asked
an
you as
account
Christians.
for the
I called
good.
for you as Christians to be loving.
All they've
and both
talked
of you did
about
not
is
show
what's
loving.
right
You just
and
You don't
showed
know what
being-
loving
you just showed
means.
being
You don't even know what
bigoted.
that
They
means.
can't
All right,
give
let's
an
not,
account
let's not
for
talk
what's
over
good.
each other because no one can overhear. Jay.
Yeah. So earlier in the first section, we talked about Peterson. We were talking about what was good for men
Yeah.
and whether Tate was good or Peterson was good. And now we're talking about ethics in the sexual domain, which there's no basis in their worldview for anything to be morally,
What's the argument for
objectively
that?
right or wrong, other
Why
than
would
their
anyone
personal
believe that?
preferences. So if there are,
Why would
if there's
anyone
nothing
believe that, Jay?
objectively
You're just
wrong,
making a
there's
claim.
no reason why bigotry is wrong. Why is bigotry wrong?
Well, I want
Whoa,
support your
okay.
claim. Don't run from your claim. Support it. Right? We have no. You're saying we as atheists have no basis of morality. Support that.
Yeah, no epistemic basis for getting an ought from an is.
Yeah, that's a claim. Okay, well, you're saying atheists
No, it's an
can't
argument.
account
It's a
for
famous
morality,
argument.
right? You're saying that atheists can't account for morality. So what's the argument for that?
You can't get an ought from an is the argument. Back to Hume.
It looks like you don't know what an argument is. Come on, reason. Try to go from one line of reasoning to another. Do you know what an argument
You
is?
cannot get an
Coward?
ought from an is. You're an atheist.
That's
In
just
a materialistic
okay, well, what does that
worldview,
have to do
there's
with
no ought.
atheism? What does that have to do with atheism?
In a materialistic, atheistic worldview, there are no oughts.
First of all, I'm not a
You
materialist.
don't know the basic problem
and that's
of
just
ought
another
from is?
claim. That's just another
It's not a
claim.
claim,
Can
it's
you
an
support the
argument.
claim?
It's a famous historical.
Look,
You don't
you're
know the
just
difference
a coward.
between a claim
You
and an
made a
argument.
claim. You can't defend it.
It's an argument. It goes back to David Hume.
Can you tell us what
You
an
don't know.
argument
You
is?
didn't even know that.
Right?
You don't know
Look,
the difference
everyone,
between.
look what just happened. Look what just happened. This guy said.
Just what just
atheism
happened is that you didn't know the difference between an argument and a
Why are you
claim.
over talking to me? Why are you scared? Let me talk. Right? You just
Looked
claimed
like
that
he didn't
atheists don't have
interrupt.
foundation morality. Asked you to defend it, and then you said you can't get an ought from an is. What the heck?
That's
Like,
the argument. That's
where are you
correct.
going to
It's
get from
called
that
an
premise,
argument.
right? You can't derive
It's an
that.
argument. It's not a premise. It goes back to David Hume. You just didn't know that.
Okay, can we get I think we're going, guys, I think
I'm
we're
sorry
moving
that you
slightly
don't
off topic. Let's bring it back to Pride Month. I want to play something which has had a lot of people talking on social media. This is Sesame Street, where all the puppets holding hands, making up the Pride flag, and they say, on our street, everyone is welcome. Together, let's build a world where every person and family feels loved and respected for who they are. Happy Pride Month. I guess
Social programming.
I would say, Parker, again, the problem with this is it's this kind of enforced virtue signaling. It reminds me in a way, for very different reasons, the day in the George Floyd fallout, when everyone had to do a black square on their Instagram, or somehow they were racist. And I refused, and everyone called me a racist. I went, why does putting a black square on my Instagram make any difference to anything? Again, with this, if you don't go along with the Pride Month stuff, then somehow you must be homophobic, is the kind of way this all seems to work. And I don't like that. I don't understand why we have to have any more of these enforced things where everywhere you go for a whole month, everything's Pride. Why? Why can't everyone just get on with their lives? Studies show that strength training burns more fat than cardio alone.
You think he does strength training?
Decrease the level of bullying that exists in our society, targeted towards the LGBTQ plus community. Now, no one's saying that you have to go to Pride, Pierce. No one's saying that you have to involve yourself with Pride. When I go outside, I live in Los Angeles, I don't see rainbow flags everywhere. So I'm confused what you're talking
In Los
about. You walk down the
Angeles,
street and just,
you must be joking, but you can barely move in Los
I live in Los
Angeles.
Angeles.
I've got a house in Beverly Hills. You might as well put a Pride flag over the whole place.
I'm sorry, I've been to those areas. Not Pride flags aren't everywhere. And one, you live in Beverly Hills, right? That's specifically like not even right next to downtown. So that's where most of the rainbow flags would be. If you've actually been to LA recently.
Here's my serious point to you. If you actually want to do something constructive for, say, the trans community, for example, wandering around with LGBTQ plus, and no one can ever remember now how many letters and digits there are on these.
You just said it.
It gets it gets bigger and bigger. And I've seen one with 2 in it and all sorts of stuff, a 2-spirit, whatever. It's all.
All it is IA plus.
Yeah, I know, but then
That's
there's
it.
2 and everything. It gets ridiculous, right? And this is the problem with these things. It's never ending. It's like there were 2 genders, then there were 10, then there were 80, then there were 100. All of it's nonsense.
Yeah, we got to listen to Parker so we can get the latest literature on how many people there are, how many women and men there are in the world.
To me. However,
it wasn't like this,
however,
then that,
if you
but-
want to think that, it's a free world. Here's my point. If you actually want to make a constructive difference to, say, the trans community and trans rights and protect trans people, then the absolute worst way to go about that is the way that the trans lobby has tried to do it, by eroding women's rights in things like women's sport. That has exposed so many trans people to mockery, abuse, and the rest of it. And I would say that rather than spend...
That's the only thing that gets Pierce upset is when you take shit away from the feminists. Oh, shit. That makes it an issue for Pierce. He is a feminist to the highest level. So that's the only issue he has with all this, is that it takes away shit from ladies.
Spending all this time...
And they voted for it. They voted for all the policies that brought it to them. So men got to go fix it for them, I guess.
And effort and money on flags in Pride Month. What about just actually getting people together to understand that eroding women's rights is the worst possible thing to promote trans rights? Would you accept that?
Okay, so then if we were going to be talking about eroding women's rights, we'd have to talk about people that, someone like Andrew Wilson supports, like Donald Trump, who is held civilly liable of sexually abusing a woman, who bragged about walking the changing rooms.
Let's stick to my question. Don't bring Trump into it.
I promise you I'm making a point relative to this.
All right.
He bragged
Smoky
about
man
walking
bad. Smoky man bad. Smoky man bad.
You're very childish. He bragged about
All
walking
you
to the
can
changing rooms.
do is focus on me. You can't even answer to his question, dude. He's just.
I'm
but
promising
Andrew
I'm
Wilson
answering right now.
bad.
You're cutting me off.
But Smoky man bad.
You're cutting me off. I'm trying to answer it right now. Respectfully, I'm trying to answer it right now, but you're not allowing me to.
Okay, well, answer without distracting into Trump and stuff. Just answer the question.
Well, I'm giving an explanation, right? So he bragged about walking to the changing rooms of girls in Miss USA because he quote unquote owns the place to inspect them without
Forget Trump. Forget Trump.
I promise you, I'm making a point here. Would you let me?
You have to get to the point a bit quicker. Come on.
I promise you I am. I've had 15 seconds. Okay, so specifically, right, people like Andrew Wilson do not call that type of stuff out when it's explicitly harmful towards women's rights.
You're playing whataboutery. I'm not interested in whataboutery. Because I haven't done that.
Where's the mute button, Parker? You can't mute peers?
As somebody like me, talk to me, Parker, talk to me, right? As somebody who has always supported...
I was going to refer to trans
as someone
people,
who's
not
always
allowing me to
supported
speak,
trans rights, trans
This is
people's
incredibly
rights...
disingenuous.
This is exactly why this little shit stays on TikTok, where he's got his mute button and he gets to talk and you can't respond. That's the only way he wins debates.
I have always supported trans people's rights to fairness, equality, and safety, right to the point that it began to erode into women's rights to the same thing. And that's my point to you. Why waste all this time, effort, and money on virtue signaling for Pride Month when in fact there's a real problem going on which remains unresolved because too many people on the left and too many young people go along with this absolute farce of trans athletes in women's sport, which exposes trans people around the world to extra mockery and abuse.
But you'll condemn the mockery and abuse from people like Jay Dyer, and these
All
are
he
the
has is
mockers.
ad hominem.
You condemn that.
Well, I'm saying you're going to get the mockery when there is something so obviously grotesque.
Raise your hand, boy.
Can I respond?
Parker, you got your hand up very politely, so answer me without mentioning Donald Trump or Andrew Wilson.
Yeah, okay. So I can't mention the person on the panel, but specifically
No.
in terms of trans people are not specifically going to be harmful towards women in these particular spaces, given that they've met the conditions of multiple years of HRT.
Have you been
Okay,
hang on.
Let me finish.
Parker, you can't make it. Parker, literally, as you've said this, today it's been revealed.
I'm finishing, Piers.
Today,
Piers, I'm trying to
wait
explain.
a minute.
I'm trying to explain, Piers.
You talked about safety.
This is disingenuous.
Literally today, the Algerian gold medal winner in the Paris
haven't been able to
Olympics
speak.
women's boxing has been
Piers, can I
revealed
speak?
to be a man who should never have been competing.
Piers, can I speak?
That's
Piers,
why.
You know how people feel when they're on your panels and you mute them,
Can I speak
Parker?
without interruption, please?
All right, answer.
I've been incredibly nice on this panel. I would love to be able to speak without interruption. Is that okay, Piers?
Yes, but answer my question.
Yeah, I was trying to answer the question. You cut me off. So
I'm nice and raise my hand, so can I answer the question?
specifically, I don't think trans people in these spaces would be harmful after multiple years of HRT and or not going through a male puberty, as I've seen no good evidence from any scientific studies that indicate that there would be an unfair biological
Imam
at that point.
Khalif, what are you
Not to say-
talking
listen,
about, man?
Listen, I'm still explaining.
Parker, you're
Listen, I'm
talking
not-
complete gibberish,
Can
man.
I please finish?
Imam Khalif has literally just been exposed as a biological male who won Olympic gold in women's boxing and beat up an Italian boxer, woman, so badly she quit in 43 seconds and said she thought she was going to die in the ring. So the whole argument you just put forward is literally disproved by a news story today. That's the point I was making to you. Of
Piers,
course
have
it's
they got-
dangerous.
This little moron thought he could debate Andrew Wilson, and he just got schooled by Pierce Morgan, the worst debater on the internet, who's only beat Don Lemon. That's it.
When you allow biological men to get in a boxing ring and beat up women, it is dangerous.
Piers, has that person been through multiple years of HRT?
I don't know. I don't care.
Then they haven't
That
met my set
person
of
is a
criteria.
man.
So how is that a critique of my worldview if they haven't met the set of criteria that I mentioned? Can I please finish? Can I please mention? Can I please mention? Right. So again, let me please finish. Right. I am saying what if they meet this set of criteria, then they can play. And there's nothing unfair biologically
Yes, there
speaking that you
is,
can
though.
identify.
This is where you're so
scientifically
deluded.
speaking.
You're
No,
so
no, this is
deluded
just you.
because
No,
even
no,
if you
no,
have
Piers,
all the
Piers,
HRT does not affect your bone density. It does not affect your fast twitch muscles. It doesn't affect a lot of things that make men more athletic than women and dangerous to be fighting them, even though they voted for it.
If you have all the treatment, you still retain the body mass, the muscle mass, the lung capacity. You retain all the biological advantages of being born
Not after
a
multiple
man.
years of HRT. Not
Yes,
after
you
multiple
do.
years of HRT.
Yes, you
Wait,
do.
do you want to bet, Piers? Piers, put money on it. You said you retain every biological advantage.
Muscle
given
mass,
that you have gone through multiple years
lung
of HRT.
capacity.
You don't think muscle
You
mass
want to
and
bet
bone
your
density goes
entire
down?
savings of your entire life
Let's
that
bet
I'm right and you're wrong?
Piers, let's bet $1,000 right now that there are lower biological advantages that would specifically exist given that someone goes through multiple years of HRT, right, relative to estrogen.
No, you're missing my point.
Bet that. Take that bet.
No, you're
Take that
missing
bet.
my. No, you're missing my point.
Are you going to accept the bet? Yes or no?
You can have
yes or no?
all the HRT treatment you
$1,000,
like.
Piers.
You can have all the
$1,000.
testosterone. But hang
He's not
on.
going to accept it.
Let
He
me
won't do it.
answer. Let me answer.
Rationale.
I'll tell you the bet I'll make. If you want to bet the $1,000, if you want to bet the $1,000 that if you go through testosterone reduction treatment and the rest of it, that you come out of it with a reduced muscle mass or lung capacity or the other things that give men an advantage, take that bet for me.
Yeah. So I will bet after multiple years of HRT, specifically relating to estrogen, right, there is a reduction in muscle mass. You want to take that bet, Piers?
You better ask Mima if she'll loan you that money, Parker. You're on TikTok.
It's bullshit. Andrew Wilson.
Okay, let's take that bet. Do you
Andrew
want to take it,
Wilson.
yes or no?
Andrew Wilson.
Yes or no? Do you want to take the bet?
I'm letting Andrew respond to you.
Yeah. So when you're talking specifically about the whole LGBTQ thing has backfired greatly. And it's because this whole thing, Pride is astroturfed. It's literally astroturfed. You just showed us how. I mean, you have a massive corporation putting out propaganda for a children's TV show, showing, a bunch of hands in a rainbow, this and that. It's very clear that this is backfiring. And by the way, the trans movement set the gay rights movement back 20 years or more. You can't convince us, Parker, even if you're attracted to men who you call women, that the rest of us call them women or men. Like they either are or they aren't.
Is this not changing the topic?
You have been trying to convince people forever that there's no way to distinguish these things. It's like, look, the average normal person, they can tell that these guys who go out and go, "Hey, how you doing? My name is Chuck," with long hair are clearly not women, Parker. Like, we know this. And so what happens is you guys gaslight everybody and try to pretend that, hey, you just can't really know. It's too vague. It's, we can't really get to the meat and potatoes here. It's like, we do know, Parker. And you have not been able to successfully, with your TikTok brain, convince people that men can be women and women can be men. You haven't done that. And that's one of the reasons that you see Pride falling behind, is because of all of this gaslighting. People are rejecting it.
Tax day has passed, but for millions of Americans, that's where the trouble begins. The IRS is now ramping up enforcement.com.
Impacted or not accepted in these communities. That's the point of Pride in these conditions, right? Just because it is the case that issues have existed to a greater extent in the past doesn't mean that we don't have an issue to address today, right? In terms of Pride, right? Like addressing that we should have acceptance of gay people. We should have acceptance of people in the LGBTQ plus community. So
does acceptance mean we have to teach our children that that's a good thing and that it's okay if you do that? Because that's a different thing.
Counterintuitive, though, Parker, to say,
I'd like to add one thing.
Clearly, it's backfiring. Like, it seems like it's counterintuitive.
He's acting like people are out there rejecting dicks. Like, I'm running in somebody's house and stopping two dudes from butt fucking. We accept that y'all do that. That doesn't mean you need to be teaching children to do it and talking to them like it's a good thing. If you want our population to recover.
If you push the propaganda that hard,
I think it's backfiring.
I want to highlight.
Let me bring in Danny.
Let
me bring in Danny. Let Danny have a say.
Yeah, right. I want to highlight that what the corporations do, right? I might agree with you. Some of them sell out for Pride, right? They, it's marketable. I might agree with you, but Pride is way more than just what the corporations do. It's how people, identify with their sexuality and, kind of anti-bullying agenda. That's very important.
By twerking in the street in front of children. That's how they celebrate it. Just so you know. That's what we're talking about.
Important, central to Pride. Whatever the corporations do, if they sell out, they sell out. But you can still have Pride, whatever they do.
Yeah, you can have Pride, but why do you have to have?
Danny, though,
why do you have to have all the commercialization behind it?
It's not organic, Danny. This is not
anti-bullying is inherently
organically. This is not organically people coming together anymore to force this. This is a bunch of NGOs
Andrew,
which go
if
to
you were,
corporations.
Andrew, if
in
you were
order to
actually
promote
Christian, you would be in
this.
support of Pride. If you were actually Christian, you'd be in support of Pride because you'd be
What's,
okay
oh
with
yeah?
accepting people.
Is there a cardinal
right?
sin
Yeah,
called
that's what
pride?
Jesus said.
Is there a cardinal sin called
Wait,
pride?
wait, it's not
Parker?
pride in a literal sense. It's pride specifically.
Yeah, you know,
That's actually a very good point.
If you're a Christian, you come worship this sin that we all fucking get around and celebrate.
Pride.
Why are you celebrating
I'm not-
sin?
It's not.
Yeah,
pride
you're
in a literal
celebrating
sense.
sin. Literally, what are you talking
You're
about?
misunderstanding. You're misunderstanding. It's not pride in a literal sense. It's pride in the sense specifically
Why would you name it that? Couldn't you come up with a better name?
where we're accepting people specifically for being gay, right? For
Yeah,
being
but that's
trans,
not
and that's
Christian.
exactly
They're
what
proud of it.
Wait,
It
Christianity
doesn't
does
accept
tell you to do
proud
that.
of it, right?
Christianity tells you to
they're
love
proud of it.
everyone and tells you to
It
accept
doesn't
people who are
only
human
say
beings
that.
made
It
in the image
also
of
talks
God.
about
Gay
boundaries
people-
and limitations. You
But
have
gay
to have a
people and trans
basis
people-
for virtue versus vice. Christianity is a virtue vice ethic, and your whole ethos is to defend your own personal vices because your ethics are all purely subjective. You have
you
no
proud to be a
basis for
Christian,
rights
Jay?
other
Are you proud to
than
be a
what you
Christian?
say is the case.
Jay, are you proud to be a Christian?
Sure.
Oh, that's a sin.
That's an
Pride.
equivocation.
Oh,
I didn't make
get
the
'em.
argument. I didn't make the
Wait, look,
argument. That's an equivocation.
We're not talking about the cardinal
What's
sin.
an
We're talking about
equivocation
the sense of
fallacy?
Pride. We're talking about the sense of pride that matters, to your identity, who you are, Christian.
I said virtue
gay,
vice
straight.
ethic, and you used an argument from equivocation. It's two different uses
No,
of the
no,
word.
you're equivocating. You brought up the cardinal sin.
No. Yes, you are. I didn't say that pride is the sin that is
respectfully, wasn't that exactly what you guys were doing when I said that pride wasn't used in a literal sense, but then you guys equivocated and said that we were.
I didn't make that argument. Andrew made that argument. I said you don't
So
have
Andrew
a
made a
basis
mistake.
for virtue
So
or
Andrew made a
vice.
mistake. So Andrew made a mistake.
I
Mistake
said
for
you
that,
don't have
right?
a basis for virtue or
No,
vice.
we were basing this around the
Yeah.
idea that Parker said. What Parker said specifically here was, well, wait a second. If you're a Christian, you should be all about this. And it's like, no, not really. And you haven't really demonstrated how. Why, Parker? Why is it that we need to support homosexuality as Christians, Parker? Tell us why.
Well, I was saying that you should be loving of thy neighbor as you're referencing specifically people, right? Human beings, right? If you're referencing
Why does that mean we have to support homosexuality?
Doesn't mean you got to join in with them. Like Bruce and Fred down the street, you ain't got to have a threesome with them. You can just say, yeah, you go do that. And I can think whatever I want about that.
Why do we have to support
I'm
homosexuality?
I'm saying that you have to be accepting of people who are homosexual.
Why
Because
do
you
we
are
need
Christian.
to support homosexuality, Parker?
Okay, we're not saying you need to support.
Yeah, exactly. These two guys learn big words and they don't even know what they mean. He did it to Dean in the last debate we were just doing. Like Dean using words they don't even know what they mean, and they think they're going to go against debaters who have studied this shit their whole life.
Like engaging in gay intercourse, we're
Uh-huh.
saying that you need to support people who are gay as they are people created in the
Why?
image of God.
Why do we need to support them? Why do we
People
need to
created in the
support
image of
them
God.
in things that we consider sinful? You want us to support sin?
Wait, I'm not
Wait,
saying
wait,
that
by
you should
support, he just
necessarily
means-
support sin. I'm saying you're supporting the person who engages in sin the same way you're a sinner, and that you engage in sin, yet you should be
yeah.
supported.
So when homosexuals come to the church and they reject homosexuality, they're no longer acting in that way. They are accepted.
they're
in
not
the church.
rejected.
What are you
they're not
talking about?
rejected. Wait, by
It's
the way,
an
nothing in
action,
the
it's
Bible
not an
says that
identity.
being.
So there's
wait,
a
being
vice
gay-
virtue
exactly.
ethic that they're not understanding. It's not an identity, it's a vice.
Wait,
Well,
hold on, so
well, look,
being-
I want to bring this.
being
I want
gay
to bring
is
the pride
different
bit
from
to an end. We're going to
engaging
move
in
on to the
gay intercourse.
last topic. All I would say is that I absolutely do not think homosexuality is a sin. I completely respect everyone's right to have any sexuality they like. I just don't see the point in spending a whole month allowing companies to virtue signal their way into making tons of money out of it. I just think it's the
How long then? You want a
grasping
week?
commercialization of
Wait.
sexuality.
That's good Catholic boy who just said that homosexuality is not a sin somehow. Someone didn't go to church.
Which
Wait,
is
so you
I
just
find
read the
so
Is your
objectionable.
issue just how long? You just want a week or a day? Like, what do you? Is that the
If
issue?
you want to have
the
a
length?
Pride Day, fine. But why a month? Goes
Wait,
What
on
does it
and
matter
on and
whether it's a
on.
month or a day?
Huh?
Wait, couldn't
What does it
couldn't
matter whether it's a month or
corporations?
a day?
Well, you
Well,
get,
are we gonna have
if it's a day,
necrophilia
it's a
month?
day
Can
longer
we
than
have
I get as a
necrophilia
straight
month?
guy. I mean, what about me? Where am I?
Wait,
Where's my
Because you don't have to hide your children's eyes for a fucking month. That's why a day is better than a month.
day?
Are
Well,
you
I
bullied
want
for being straight?
necrophilia
We don't have the
month.
same
Where's that
issue.
at?
Wait,
I
hold on,
get
hold on,
bullied
hold on.
all the time.
Here's-
I've been bullied on social
Not for
media
being
all
straight.
day.
Not for being straight. No.
Just for being a cuck.
All right, let's move on. I want to play a clip from Joe Rogan. I'm going to start with you, Jay, on this. This is Joe Rogan talking about the R word.
It's one of these retarded shows where they're screaming. There's the word again. We brought it. We were just talking about
You
that.
did it early.
The word retarded is back, and it's one of the great culture
Thank God.
victories that I think is spurred on probably by podcasts.
Now, Jay, is it a great moment, a great cultural victory that the R word is back, which obviously is short for it's retarded, it's mentally retarded, it's for people who are mentally impaired. It was used in a derogatory way against people who are mentally impaired. Why would that be a cult?
Incorrect, Pierce. It's used against your friends. Yes, you shouldn't run around calling retarded people retards, but you can call your buddies that. That's a different thing.
Cultural victory to bring that back.
Well, I'm a big fan of the R word because I myself act retarded all the time and I'm proud of it. In fact, I would
Me too.
actually probably get retarded
Doing it right now.
tattooed across my back because I think it is a cultural victory. I'd love to be
That's
able
very
to say
fitting.
what's on
Right.
my mind. I think, yeah, I mean, well, these guys are retarded as an example. So we have panelists that are retarded. So yeah, I love the R word. I'm rated R totally. And I think that it's a freeing thing. It's a way to express the way we express things in the 80s and the 90s without problem. Like, you can go watch Bill Murray comedy movies and they're great because
Yeah, but people
have
used
the
to, yeah,
freedom
but
of
hang on,
speech.
people used to use the N word, 30, 40 years ago, right? But then
Yeah, and
that
I
was,
champion all the comedians
but
that still
that
use
became
the N.
something that was taboo in society because it was deemed to be very offensive to black people. The R
Yeah, but
word,
I don't think it
the
is.
use of the R word is deemed to be
wrong.
very offensive to people who are genuinely mentally impaired, and they don't like
He's
it.
making a soy face, like he's like freaking out over there.
Yeah,
He looks
I'm
hurt.
sorry, you just said it's
But
justified
there's a
for
difference
white people
between
to say the
taboo
N-word.
and what's wrong, morally wrong. I don't
Thing.
equate the two.
All right,
Taboos are not
Parker,
equated
your
to
response.
morally wrong.
So here's my question. Do you think that Jesus would say the N-word, and do you think Jesus would say the R slur?
Jesus does say jokes and slurs in the Gospels. Yes, he talks
Does he-
about.
So Jesus
He
would say
talks
the R
about
slur
the
and the N-word.
equivalents in his day.
So
Yeah, he
Jesus
calls
would
people
say the
dogs.
N-word and the R slur.
He
That's
calls
not the
people
same thing as
dogs,
the
which
N-word
is
and
a
the R slur.
reference to you guys' vice.
Parker, do
The butt vice.
Parker, do people in your friendship group ever use the R word?
No, never.
It's just a taboo word.
Yes, I think it's incredibly wrong to use. You shouldn't use it.
People in
And
your
honestly,
friend group
fact
use
that-
the N-word.
Can I
But,
please?
but
can I please
and out of
respond?
interest, Parker, what is your rationale personally for not using it?
I think it's incredibly harmful. In the same way that we don't use other sorts of slurs because they're harmful, I think that
If
we
your
shouldn't use this word
arguments-
because it's harmful.
I've heard him call people R slurs. As if that's any different. Like people don't know what you're talking about, stupid.
Hurt my feelings. Should you not argue?
So no, specifically, we're saying it meets a threshold of harm, right?
Whose
because the
threshold?
R slur and the
Whose threshold
my
is
threshold, my
Your
threshold.
So
threshold.
it's
is arbitrary.
subjective. That's a subjective
we're
argument.
ta-
Thank
we're
you. So
ta-
it's only
we're
your
ta- we're
personal
ta-
subjective
Wait,
taste.
we're obviously we're
If
talking
it's your
about under
personal
my.
subjective
Can I
taste, then
please
it can
finish? Can I
also be
please
mine.
finish?
Okay,
So
well
that's
then,
why it
Parker,
doesn't
it
work in an
doesn't
argument.
reach.
Groiper checking in. Thank you.
Parker.
All right,
It
Andrew.
doesn't reach our
fine. That
threshold,
would be.
Parker.
I understand, Andrew. That would be your perspective on the matter. But given my perspective, I would say that meets my threshold. Are you saying it's okay to use the N-word,
And
Andrew?
it's subjective and it doesn't work as an argument.
Wait,
Andrew,
Jay, why
is it
do you
okay to-
think people that
Andrew,
wait, I
Andrew,
have to ask
hold-
you,
hold-
why
hold
do
on.
you think
Yeah. Parker. Is it ever okay to use the word retard?
No. Is it okay for you to use
Not-
the N-word?
Is it
Not even doctors?
okay to use the word retard to reference the word retard?
I think it's wrong to use it in general. Can you please use?
Can you
please
answer my
tell me-
question,
my
and then I'll
question?
answer yours, I promise.
I said it's
Is
wrong.
it
I
okay
said
to
it's wrong.
refer to the word
No.
retard if you're explaining the word retard?
Say R slur.
So
Well-
you can't. Okay, so you
well-
can't even use. So just the word itself. Okay, so here's the thing that's so funny about
Using that just makes people go try and find out what that word is. It actually makes it worse.
this, right? It's like
Superstition.
ultimately when we say
Am I able
when
to
we
ask
say
a question yet?
retarded, yeah. So I wouldn't use
So
the
fucking
N-word. Here's
weird.
why. When I say that if somebody says the N-word, what ends up ultimately happening, there's not really too much in the way of equivocation there. Retard is not actually referring to retarded people, though. Basically, ever. Nobody ever says it, Parker, to refer to somebody who's actually retarded.
That doesn't change it.
99%
Wait,
of
if
the
you're,
case
wait, hold up.
use
If
of
you're
a
using
word-
the N-word to refer to a white person, it's still wrong. Would you use the N-word to refer to a white person?
I
mean,
do.
In some circumstances, I think that you can use it in a comedic sense. That's hilarious. Sure.
You think white people using the N-word is okay in any circumstance?
Yeah, comedic senses especially. I think it's fine.
That's disgusting as fuck. Do it.
Oh my God!
Right
Oh,
now?
what, is that an
your
argument?
subjective basis.
Is
There's
that
no
is that an
basis.
argument, Parker?
Wait, me calling something disgusting because I think it goes against my
Oh,
moral
you think it's
intuition?
disgusting?
What's
Okay,
the
right.
argument?
Homosexuality is
That's
disgusting.
To be fair, Parker's grandma doesn't let him drive cars, so he hasn't been in traffic, so he doesn't understand when you want to use that word.
Because
Am I
it
able
goes
to
against my
finish?
moral
All right, let me bring.
intuitions.
All right, let me bring in. Let me bring in Danny.
Can I respond?
Let me bring,
You-
hang
you
on,
seriously
hang
didn't
on,
let me
hang on,
speak.
hang on. Let me bring in Danny. This is what NBC said. NBC News when they covered the return of the R word. They said while its use has percolated in the comedy world for years, only recently has the word and discussion of its return become more normalized. That is fueled in no small part by a sense that the tide has turned both culturally and politically against those seeking to keep the word out of the popular lexicon. But the battle lines are not as clear as one might think. And there's no doubt that's true. I mean, what is your view about this?
I mean, we got to remind ourselves why people like us are against use of the R word, and especially in public places, right?
Yeah.
It's because it was a term, I believe, like technical term for mentally disabled people, and we don't.
Who told the mentally disabled people that that's a bad word? It wasn't me.
We don't want to demean those people or accidentally offend people that have children or relatives or friends that that are mentally disabled, right? And so it has that connotation. Unlike the word dog, when Jesus used the term dog, right? There's no such connotation, right? You'll have to be reminded of why it's considered to be a slur, right? I mean, it's like you forgot.
Yeah, but
This is
so is
made
like
up.
the word.
This is
So is the
not
word
true. This is
moron.
made up.
So is the word moron. The word moron had a really negative societal connotation, and it still does. And people use it all the time, just in lieu of the word retard. They'll just say you're
Right,
a
but that's
moron
a-
instead of you're a retard.
The
It's like
R word is more
you're
recent.
hang
I
on,
think
hang
that
on.
matters.
You're begging. Hang on. You're picking and
arbitrary.
choosing. Yeah, you're picking and choosing which thing to be selectively offended by. You're not. I don't. So like, let me ask you guys this honestly.
It's the
I want you
distinction
guys
of
to
harm.
answer me fucking honestly. Does the word retard actually offend you?
Yes, I think it's fucked
You,
up for you to
Danny,
use. I've been
does
very
it actually
clear. It's
offend you,
fucked up.
Danny, when somebody says
Yes.
the
Wait a
word
minute.
retard?
Yeah, it does.
So
So we found who the retards are.
Zach
Especially in public
Galifianakis.
places and professional places.
So Zach
like this.
Galifianakis does some when he does comedy and he does a movie and he makes a joke and says retort. Is that also bad?
I'm confused the context of what you're referencing. Is he specifically trying to
No, wait a
refer to
minute.
the
Now, so
R
now
slur? If he is,
context
then yes.
matters. So now
Yeah,
the
he's
context
trying to
matters.
allude to the word retard.
I don't. Okay, then yes, that's wrong.
Yes, that's
Okay.
wrong.
I thought
So
you were
it is
saying
like
like someone.
You have to call it the word he came up with. So you have to call it an R slur because that's the word he likes. But if you use any other word to describe the same phenomenon, it's bad.
Any
I thought you
word
were. I
that
thought
references
TikTok brain.
another word now is wrong, like moron.
so. Specifically, in terms of the one I thought you were referencing, I thought you were referencing like someone responding to an argument. I thought the particular term that you
No,
were using.
Zach Galifianakis in a comedy movie saying retort
I
as a
understand.
joke instead of retard.
So if your
Yeah, and
friend
I think
says
that's
to
incredibly
Parker,
fucked up to use.
Okay, so now also any word
Yeah.
that refers to the word
Except
retard
R
is
slur.
now wrong, like moron.
R slur's okay.
I think if you're intentionally specifically trying to use a word right in place specifically of the R slur, specifically as to create the same
is that
type of
word
outcome
okay?
as the R slur,
So any
and I do
word
think
that could
in
refer to that word
particular
is not wrong.
intention, I
So
think that
stupid.
particular intention would.
So you can't
definitely
say
be
the word
wrong.
moron. So now you
Right,
can't
can't say the word
Well,
moron.
You don't necessarily have that intention. It doesn't meet the
So this
particular
is
threshold of harm
you're
as
just
well.
spiraling into insanity because
That's not. I gave two
subjective.
conditions to separate it. I gave two conditions.
Who's-
Wait, it being
Your
subjective is not a
conditions are
critique.
arbitrary.
Wait,
They're
wait,
made
wait,
up.
wait. It being
They're
subjective is not a
subjective.
critique. That's not a critique against
Yes,
the
it
view.
is.
Purely subjective because R slur is acceptable, but all the other ones that refer to the exact same thing are bad. How?
Yes, it is.
No, it's not. How is that a critique?
Yes, it is. If something's purely subjective, then I can come with all the same claims with all the same force, and there's no way to resolve the two. That's why purely subjective arguments fail.
Wait, there not being a resolution, particularly between the moral disagreement of me and you, isn't a critique, particularly of my perspective.
Then you can't say anything is morally wrong. There's no ought from an is.
Wait, I can say something is morally wrong under my perspective. You're misunderstanding subjective morality.
You're not giving.
Can
You,
you, wait,
you
I have
can't
a
tell
question.
me why
I have
it's
a question.
wrong morally,
I have a question.
objectively,
Well,
if
then
I
I'll
can
ask you this
also
question.
counter it.
Can I ask you this question? Do you think that morality is true dependent upon God's stance or independent of God's stance?
Ultimately, it's grounded in God.
Okay, so
Right,
it's
and God
subjective.
is a subject. Yeah, God is a subject.
No, that's
so.
not a subjective argument. The argument.
Wait, God is a
the argument is
subject.
that it's objective.
God's
The
a
fact that a
subjective.
person
God is
makes an
subjective.
argument doesn't make the argument subjective. Your argument
God is
is
a
pure
subject.
subjectivism.
Is God a
Two
subject?
different things. It's a category error.
Is God a
How's that a
subject?
category error?
It's two different categories. A subjective argument for
We're
ethics
we're
is
two different people too, right?
different
How's
than
it
a
relevant,
person
right?
who's a subject making an argument. Those are two
The
different.
point is that God is a
categories.
subject. He's not an
They sounded
object,
like,
right?
though.
We're subjects, right? We understand morality in terms of God.
That's
In fact,
a
anybody
cate-
should
that's you're
understand, right?
equivocating again.
Look, can we bring this
I thought we agreed y'all were retards. Weren't y'all offended by it?
The fact that
Wait,
God's
wait,
a
hold on,
subject
no, no,
doesn't
no.
mean
No,
that
no,
it's
you wanna
not
run away.
objective. That's
No, we
idiotic.
can't.
Wait, God having his particular view on morality is no different than me having my view because we're both subjects.
The
Can you tell me
argument
what a
is that
subject
it's an
What is it, Jay?
objective
What is the
morality.
subject? Jay, what is the subject?
You're equivocating on the fact
What
that
is the
a
subject?
subject is making an argument versus the
What do you
argument
think
being
objective
subjective.
No, you said
That's
it.
a
Wait,
philosophical
wait,
category error.
Jay, I
This
asked
is
you if
like
it's
talking
true.
to children.
I asked you,
You are
category
talking to
error, you
children.
I gave you the Euro dilemma. I asked you if it's true dependent upon a stance or independent of a stance. You said it's dependent upon God's stance. That's subjective by
No,
definition.
I said that the argument for Christian ethics is not a subjectivist ethic, and because God is a subject, it doesn't make the system subjective. That's an
What do you
equivocation
think
error on
subjective
your
means,
part.
Jay? What does subjective mean? What does subjective
Purely
mean? man?
relative to the individual.
Okay, is God an
true
individual?
dependent upon a stance.
Is God an individual?
That doesn't mean that the ethic is
Uh-oh,
subjective.
uh-oh.
I don't know that he is.
Subjective ethic. You're
Is
just
God an
rephrasing.
individual?
You're substituting the word individual for subject.
I'm asking you if God is an individual.
you
Yes
did.
or no, Howard?
That doesn't mean that the ethics is subjective.
Yes
that's
or
a
no?
system and
Who's running now?
It's an
Is God an
epistemological argument that's
Just answer the
different.
question.
From
Let me bring Andrew.
This is a
Andrew, you wanted
basic-
to.
I think if you're omnipotent, you're not a subject. You're like the culmination of all subjects. Like you know all knowledge, not just what one person knows. So I don't see God as being a subject. I see him as being above a subject, like much above.
Andrew, you wanted to get in here.
Jay's getting cooked, so he's
what
got
were you going to say?
Jay's getting cooked.
You're making a dumb
That's the
mistake of
question.
language.
Hang on. Let Andrew come in, please.
Yeah, so I mean, this is kind of obfuscating from the point. What does any of that have to do with the point of retard? So, and
He
you being
brought up
offended by
subjective
the
morality.
word.
Are you listening?
Yeah,
What?
can you hang on? I'm talking to Parker, not you, Danny. Calm down.
I'm
Wait,
talking
you've
to
been
you,
cutting
Buster.
people off this whole
I don't
Buster?
understand. I don't understand, Parker. When a friend of yours comes over and he says something to you, like you're in private, and he's like, "Hey, hand me that," and he tosses it, and you miss it, and he goes, "You retard." You literally stop the kind. You go, "Don't say that. It's very offensive." Do you say that? It's very offensive. I really don't like it when you say. Do you dress him down, Parker? Yeah, if someone calls you a retard in a friendly way.
I'm
I would like to say
sorry, my
something.
mic
Danny learned to shit talk from watching Back to the Future, I think.
my
I
mic
want-
cut
I
out,
wanna-
so I
I'm-
couldn't hear you.
I want to post
Yeah,
something to
if
Andrew.
you have a
I wanna
friend,
post
if you have
Andrew.
a friend, shut up, Danny. If you have a friend, Parker, and your buddy comes over and he like tosses you something and you drop it and he's like, you retard. You dress him down. Do you go, "I can't believe
Yeah, I
it.
would
You,
say-
you called
yes,
me a
I would say that's
retard."
wrong.
Why?
Yes.
That's
I would like to
hurting
say
other
something now to
people's
renew your
feelings.
response. I would
But
like to
who's
say something.
around?
Yes, I would say that.
Parker, who's
Andrew,
around to be
It's
Parker?
not hard
Who's
to
around to
understand
be
Parker's
offended
position.
except
Just let
you?
him talk.
Who's
I'd like to
around to be
talk,
offended
right?
but
Doesn't-
you,
that
Parker?
I would like
doesn't
to ask
change whether or
Andrew a
not I think
question.
it's wrong.
Yeah, so
All
I
right,
don't
let
understand.
Danny respond. Danny?
I want to give Andrew a hypothetical. Suppose there's this unknown society where if you show this signal, everyone's extremely offended. They'll get very angry, like people get angry at
one?
typical slurs like the N-word, right? Would you go
The
around
Vulcan
just
sign
doing
for
this?
logic? The Vulcan sign for
Mhm.
logic.
I do.
Do you understand the hypothetical?
Everywhere I drive, I
What,
do this.
Are you
Do you
posing
understand the
hypothetical?
hypothetical? So imagine you
No,
go
I
to
don't.
a
Can you
make-believe
use
society where
really
this
small?
is-
Can you use really small words, bro?
Okay, imagine a hypothetical, right, where
Mhm.
you're going to a society you don't know about, but all you know is if you do this.
I'm
right,
imagining a
it's strictly frowned
hypothetical?
upon. Let me finish. You didn't understand
Oh,
the
okay.
hypothetical, so I'm having to repeat it. So let me finish.
Yeah,
If
repeat
this-
it. Use
this
small
is-
words.
Let's say this signal is extremely offensive in that society, really offensive
It is the Klingons.
to people. Would you go around just doing this to troll people, or would you not do it?
I would definitely tell him to live long and prosper, bro.
Okay, you're just not engaging in the hypothetical. You're not a serious person.
What do you
I'm
mean?
trying to
That is
illustrate
serious.
Is that what I'm trying to illustrate is that if a
I have a
term
good point.
really offends a friend of someone, right, or if you're or a
Uh-huh.
family member or something like that,
Yeah.
why would you use the term but to piss them
The
off?
trouble is that we've got to a place in our society.
Well, would you use the term when they're not around just to piss them off? How are they going to be pissed off if you're using it when they're not around?
Where the language police are now so out of control that we can't even use the word in hospitals mother, because somebody who is a trans person, trans man who's having a baby objects to the word mother. And that's the problem with language police, is that if there's no natural societal limitation to it, it's never ending. Somebody somewhere will always be offended by a word somewhere. And at the moment in society, it's like there are 1,000 words that upset people. That's my problem with it.
And Danny, what do you do in that
okay,
same
wait, no, let me
hypothetical if half the
respond.
people mean it a different way?
Parker, you wanted to respond to that?
No, I want to respond to this particular point. Christians get oftentimes very angry about specific terms you use, whether it be in the context of their particular beliefs, whether it be transubstantiation, calling them a cannibal, specifically under their view, if it is the case that they think it's the actual like body and blood of Christ that they're eating specifically within and drinking within communion, right? That us calling them a cannibal, they get really, really angry with, or us blaspheming the Holy Spirit, they get really angry with.
And you don't seem to care about doing that, do you?
They're no, I don't. They're the tone police. When it
Yeah,
comes to
right.
that. You guys don't-
Oh, so respect our transgender friends over here, but we don't have to respect you. That's what this comes down to.
Don't
See,
talk,
you're totally
you guys don't. You
hypocrite.
guys
You're
don't
totally
talk about that.
hypocrite.
No, it's not because I'm not a Christian.
Yeah,
I
it
don't
is.
hold those perspectives.
Yeah, but
Well, hang on. That's okay. Hang on.
Are you
hang
a
on.
trans?
That is fascinating.
Are you a
So,
retard?
In other words, you don't mind doing the slur against Andrew over
it's
things he
Christians.
cares very passionately about his religion because you don't share his religion.
Wait,
Therefore, you can't offend him. Therefore, you can't offend him.
How is that a slur?
He said, "Would you use the word cannibal?" You said,
The
"Yeah, you
point-
wouldn't care."
wait,
That's not a slur. That's not a slur.
Hang on.
It is to
If they are offended by it, it is a slur, right? That's your whole thing here, that the retards are going to be offended because this word you taught them was bad. So it's the same thing.
They just
It is a
read
slur.
It is to him.
It's not anything.
A slur was what offended people. It was
See, so
supposed to be
hang
what
on. So
offended
Parker,
people.
you decide
whatever
what.
offends is the
Hang on,
slur.
hang on. Just to be clear, Parker, you are the slur monitor, are you? You decide what isn't a slur,
Ad hoc.
and therefore
I'm sorry.
you,
We all have
Parker,
definitions.
can say what the fuck you like, as long as you have
Dumbass
decided
Parker.
it's not a slur. You see the flaw of the argument.
It's all ad hoc.
Obviously, we have definitions.
Even Pierce can see it.
Obviously, we have definitions on what slurs are. I don't know why that's a confusing thing to you. Do you have a definition? Obviously, you have a
defined it.
definition.
I would say saying to a Christian that he's a cannibal because of communion or whatever, I think is utterly offensive. Yeah, and a slur. But you don't, because you don't share the religion. Therefore, you, language monitor Parker, have decided it's not a slur. And so, as long as you don't think it's a slur, and this is my problem with your generation,
me, but not
is
for
that you're
me.
so easily offended, except when you're offending everybody else.
Wait, if it genuinely is the case that it leads to a particular level of harm that I would say meets my particular threshold of harm, I would say we shouldn't use that term. All I was doing is describing specifically there are terms and words Christians think are very harmful
Well,
to them. that
cannibalism
they
is a
think we
criminal
should-
offense.
Listen.
Hang
they
on.
think
Parker,
we
there's a
should
lot more Christians
not
than
have
Cannibalism is a
nonsense.
crime.
You're
accusing it of him of being a criminal.
equivocating. No, actually, you're equivocating because I'm using their own definition of the term cannibal specifically because it is the case that you're equivocating because that's not. I don't think it's actually like the body and blood of Christ. So they didn't actually, in a meaningful sense, violate any laws. Does that
And your friend is not actually retarded. Good point.
make sense?
And I don't think I'm actually calling somebody mentally, slow when I say retard either, Parker. So what?
It still meets a particular threshold of harm that I would consider.
Okay, well, it meets the
as-
threshold of harm
personal
to me when you
subjective
call them.
threshold.
Yeah.
All right, we've got to leave
Okay,
it
well,
there.
then-
It's been a fascinating clash of.
Andrew.
Hang on, no, we got to leave it there. It's been a great clash of cultures. I think we should do this again.
Wish
I
they
think
would.
both
Yeah,
sides
happily.
are learning from each other and beginning to bond. Thank you all very much.
So let's end this here. Just a few notes though. Yeah, they just want to be in charge of the list of naughty words. Like they could just say, you can't say these words, but we can say all these against you. That's hypocrisy. That is hypocrisy. And that's the problem with these young guys coming up like these two clowns and Dean. They're morons. You can't let them decide anything. So if they say you shouldn't say retard, you should scream it from the heavens because it probably is better for you than whatever they got in their head. So sorry about the first two videos. I know they were kind of rough to get through, so I apologize. That was the best I could find, though, and I spent about an hour looking for different videos today, trying to find the one I wanted to use, and it just wasn't available. So I had to use some Clipper channels today. And if Pierce was this masculine, like you saw how he kind of manned up against these two little sissies, if he was this masculine in his personal life, his wife wouldn't need a sabbatical. He needs more of this. So let's see if we can send some encouragement to have Andrew on more, because that's what Pierce needs, like especially now that he's injured. But I'll be back tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm gonna try and do I don't want to spoil it because I'll probably have to look for more shit tomorrow and be late. So tomorrow we will reconvene here and maybe solve more world problems. Peace. I will see y'all tomorrow. See y'all tomorrow.